That was a lot louder than I'd
Photo
anticipated.
Finish
Sorry.
System USA. Give me 1 second to turn my mic around.
Hey, party people! Oh boy.
Hi, everybody. You're watching Phoenix Dawn Command here on the Saving Throw Show. We are really close to the end of our season, and also very close to our Halloween Spooktacular coming up next week. So
Super spoopy and creepy.
I did hear spooktacular, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I will be spoopy and or creepy. Maybe both.
Brilliant.
Hopefully both.
I can't remember what badly translated Japanese cartoon originally made that mistake that has caused spoopy to be a thing.
I think spoopy was actually a Halloween decoration.
Really?
That and creepy, yeah.
Okay.
They were Halloween decorations that were horribly misspelled.
All right, well, it's going to be nice and spoopy next week. It should be really fun. But tonight we have yet more of the continuing plot of the Reborn Wing / the Buffalo Wing and their quest to put everything right in this world.
And hoping that our next leap will be the leap home.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the table this way and introduce yourselves and your characters and what you look like now if you've recently ranked up. And when we get to Idalia is going to rank up live right here.
Woo!
Then we have a special announcement, and then we'll get into today's game. So starting off here with Mr. Chan.
I am Robert Chan. I'm a podcaster, writer, etc., etc. Eerie is, he started out looking like one of those little J-horror children. Really small, black hair, white skin, and whatnot. As he has progressed, we're at level 4 now. He's sort of he still looks mostly the same, although if he interacts with any part of the world, he starts to wrong. Like just wrong. Like things don't interact quite right with him, and there's always sort of the constant sound, although maybe not in the real world, of chains, just jangling chains whenever he's around.
Classic.
I'm Mac Beauvais. I'm a actress, a cosplayer, a writer, probably the reason you need expensive therapy. You may have also just seen me on the Dark Sun game, so if you didn't, go back and watch that on YouTube, but not right now because we're live. I am playing Varya, who is the bitter, who is slowly becoming ever more a werewolf. She died in the last game I played because Chan accidentally shanked her, so that was super fun. But then she did come back. She's super wolfy now. She's actually got almost a full werewolf snout, like a tail. She's basically like an 80s werewolf at this point, but she has Pyrean steel claws.
Sexy. Hey, I'm Michael Holmes, and I was in a real bad mood before I got here today, but this day has been turned around by the power of friendship. My character is Ink. He is the Shrouded member of the Wing. I'm going to use a comic book reference. If you remember the issue of Young Justice when Bart Allen reads all of the books in the library, that's kind of Ink, except he's also cloaky. However, he died at the end of last game, and this iteration, he's still mostly this inky black cloak with this ever-swirling story on his cloak, but he looks different every single time you look at him. Like, sometimes he looks like a Van Gogh painting, and sometimes he looks like he's illustrated by Rob Liefeld or something, because he's kind of...
His hands and feet are covered by shrubbery
He's
and
got
rocks
pockets
and
and huge breasts.
Yes, and his feet are this big. But no, in his last time in the Crucible, he decided to kind of reflect more on the art of the world as opposed to the text.
Nice.
So that's what is influencing his look now.
So to speak to that briefly before we get to Terra's leveling up, as you know, all these Phoenixes started as mortals, and then after their first death, their actual mortal death, something they did caused them to be brought, not something specific, but like some act or some choice caused them to be brought back as Phoenixes, which are these powerful sort of supernatural characters, and the Phoenix force that animates them gets stronger every time they die, up to 7 times. They have 7 ranks of Phoenixdom, and then their soul is released, and the Phoenix fire that brought them back goes on to animate a new person for 7, and that becomes the next sort of Phoenix in that line. And sometimes they actually continue on as the sort of mentor to that Phoenix. But mostly they're released. But every time a Phoenix dies and comes back, they become more of whatever it is that they are. So they start as immortal. So when we first met Varya was just like a slightly teethy berserker with like a particularly furry cloak. And then now she's a 9 foot tall, mostly anthropomorphic wolf monster. Eerie started off pretty bad and has gotten only worse from there. But I'm pretty sure that Ink, when we started, was just like a dude in a cloak.
Yeah.
And
He looked like a young David Naughton.
yeah. And so you come back slightly more as who you are or who you are going to become. I think saying who you are has a lot of implications.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you died. How did you die? What happened last time?
So we were fighting the creepy, sexy puppeteer, and I didn't take his deal, which like I was gonna make that a forceful death because anyway, we'll go into that. But so I just kind of like I was already losing out on sparks, and I just kind of like gave it all I got to like get him as best as I could, and that just poof like spent me. So.
A house rule here, I don't know if you're using it at home, it's fine if you are or aren't, is that if you die a death that we decide is, if we agree on a type of death that you decide, but that type of death cannot offer you a single thing that would actually play into how your character is or would make sense to your character. Unfortunately, the 5th rank of Forceful very much specifically references like how Forcefuls play, and like including specific things that she can't do yet because she can never do because she didn't take them at an earlier rank. It's okay; it happens sometimes. So I'm going to grant you her the ability to take a level from her own school.
And honestly, devoted makes sense. I was really kind of trying to like diversify a little bit with my schools, and I'm like, forceful makes sense. That's cool, but like devoted really did too. So I can keep with that. Most of my deaths have been devoted. So.
And the rank 5 traits or talents rather are two-sided, and the way it works is you pick whatever side you want, and then when you die you can flip them if you want. So, or sometimes they flip on their own. I think the bitter one might do that. I'm
No,
not sure.
mine is actually I had to pick one or the other, and both were pretty fucked up.
5 is an awkward rank. 5 is
the
It's an awkward age.
robot.
Yeah.
5 is the teenage years of
Puberty of
Phoenixdom.
Phoenixdom.
It's the pimply, awkward, hairy, smelly years. And so, but what you can do with your 5th, 6th, and 7th rank, or your 7th rank is two-sided, but it doesn't matter because you won't have it ever have it again. But with your 5th, 6th, and 6th ranks, when you die again, you can turn it. So if it suddenly makes more sense.
Only on your death. Okay.
Yeah. So which side of this do you want to start with?
Okay.
And tell us what they are and why.
So it says symbol of sanctuary. You may burn 2 sparks and place this lesson under your school card. It remains beneath your school card until you make an attack. Move from your current position or until the end of the scene. While it's beneath your school card, enemies cannot attack you. I like that. Okay. Cleansing Flame. When you make an action spread involving healing, add 5 to the value. During your turn, you may burn 1 spark to take an affliction from an adjacent ally's deck and add it to your own. You may burn 1 spark to remove any number of afflictions from your discard pile before you shuffle your discard pile into your deck. I think the other one's just going to be more useful from what I've seen of our adventures.
Don't get smashed.
Yeah.
And then you can pick one of these.
Oh, cool. Okay, Exorcist. When you use this card in a spread, draw 1, burn 3 sparks, and set Exorcist out as a temporary talent. So for the remainder of the scene, you can use Passing Pain to transfer wounds to undead enemies as well as living ones. That's nice. Guiding Spirit, because usually mine is just for living enemies.
Baddies.
Yeah. Guiding Spirit. This card has a value of 5. When used in a skill spread, you may discard Guiding Spirit at any time to add 5 to the value of a wingmate spread. Oh, that's tough. Well, you know what? I'm always going for the ones that I think are going to just be more, happen more and be more useful. So I think, because I want to be helpful, I'll go with the second one and try to build up my team. So, yeah.
Okay, so this goes away. You pick the other side of that one. You pick what side of that one you want.
Yeah.
You can take a card out of your deck if you want to, which can be choose where you lose a rank 2, which gives you it thins your deck out like deck mechanics wise. That gives you the option to not one of those, obviously, one of the regular numbered cards.
Okay. Yeah.
So
these guys.
yeah. So if you want to take a 2
right.
out, that way you won't get as many 2s, and so you'll get, when you draw a card, you'll get something else. And also you need 2 more sparks and 1 more health level. If someone can grab those,
Yay.
would you mind grabbing those, Chan, from the container?
2 more sparks, 1 more health level.
Yep. Okay, so here is the cool, awesome announcement that I think only Mac knows about.
Because I've been here all day.
That's right, because Mac's been here all day. So we have contacted the artists who did. Can someone just throw a couple of cards, face-ish cards? We contacted the artist who did all the art for Phoenix Dawn Command, and these artists have agreed to commission portraits in the card format of all of the primary characters of Phoenix Dawn Command. It's a paid commission. We're gonna pay them for their services because we believe in paying artists here on Phoenix Dawn Command, well, on Saving Throw in general. So what's gonna happen is, starting today and going forward, if you buy a flare for one of the Phoenixes here, which you can, I'm sure one of the mods can show you the donation page. If you buy a flare for that Phoenix, then we're gonna put half that donation towards the art for that character. We don't know exactly what it is yet. We're still talking with them. They're in the middle of a move, so we are not entirely sure when they're going to be settled and willing to work on this. It's about $100 a Phoenix is the answer. So every donation you make towards one of their flares, positive or negative, half that money goes in the pot to buy their art. And hopefully by around the end of the year or early next year, we will have actual commissioned sort of card-style art for all 4 of our primary Phoenixes here in the Reborn Wing, which then will be available to you online. We'll make the photos will be available if you want to just use them as art wherever you'd like. But also, we'll have shirts available. You'll be able to buy cards, I believe, if you want to take them. And yeah, so congratulations, you're all going to exist in card form.
Please do the flares because they're also really fun. The negative and the positive is really fun for you to watch, and it's fun for us to play.
Yes.
Fired. I think this was my forceful card.
Except for
actually,
maybe
that I must
him,
have
I don't
taken,
know.
so
My
I'll
negative flare is a
respond.
little janky, but
It
it's
is,
okay.
but that's fun
It-
though. You
it
have
is.
to see in and out of time, and then I get to be a raging monster beast that wants to kill everyone.
And then in the game,
I mean,
you can also do that.
I mean, I think that we should be able to have them, pay to have me be in real life or in game. They should be able to pick.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that. If you want Mac to slaughter her enemies and eat their hearts, you can do that.
In
Well,
game and out of game.
And this is definitely a step towards where we're trying to go with this game, which is as we're not, I don't know if there is an official stream, but we're
We're
sort
the
of
first.
Yeah, we're the first, and we're well connected with our friends at Together Games who we love. Fund Illimat on Kickstarter now, but we want to use some of the stories that we've told here as sort of like basically ad hoc adventures people can play, and so we're going to start writing up some of the things that we did. And remember, too, that we also publish on the Saving Throw Show website, we publish journals from the various Phoenixes telling their perspective stories of what they've had to deal with, which is another cool tool for you to understand how these games are working. And, of course, we're always available to any of you if you have questions about Phoenix Dawn Command, how it's played, how different character classes play, or schools play, and that's that. So, all right, so... the Braid thinks it's about $800 to get you to attack people in real life.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I'm starting out on my mercenary career. You have to take a couple lower paying jobs before you work up to it, and you have to build a resume.
Is Bitcoin okay?
It is unacceptable.
That's her iron price. I don't know how many redraws you guys had at the end of last game because we had a special guest.
I don't know that we had any.
Okay, well,
I feel like
I'll
we
give you
used them
two just in case.
But
But
chat, you can help us out with that, and they are really helpful.
Super handy.
you can add redraws or free draws by donating either cash or your experience points that you gain from being in the chat room. Again, one of the mods can throw you a donation tag, which will show you how that works. And you can make cash-only donations for flares, which either make them super awesome in combat or super terrible in social interaction.
You should activate her negative one. It's really fun.
Yeah, negative ones are really fun. They're awful, but they're fun.
All right, so sort of in keeping with, because we have 3 rank 5s, right? We have 3 rank 5s at the table and 1 rank 4. So it's sort of in keeping with the awkward adolescent years of the wing. Even after you had that awkward moment where locked together in a cell, Varya and Ink were at each other's throats. After
I think it's more one way than the other.
after Eerie killed Varia, and then
Thanks for that, by the
and then
way.
you guys, while succeeding in freeing up the past from the terrible evil of the puppeteer, you still didn't actually destroy the puppeteer. And then, in your actually, can you boys tell us the story of your battle last week? What What happened there?
It was the worst birthday party ever.
Right.
We, thanks to guest Marshal Sean Graham, he threw us right in media res, surrounded by, I want to say Deadites. That's not right. That's a different franchise.
Bone Army. Of
The
some
Bone
sort.
Army, and we had to kind of fight our way out, and it was very harrowing.
Yeah, that,
and I don't remember how I died, but I died.
That negative flare didn't work out so well. It just started out right at the beginning there. So
I
there was
watched
a lot
the
of
video. That was hilarious.
a lot of eerie. He still had his speed, so he was just running away as fast as possible from everything, which made it so pretty difficult to correct or help in any way.
Well, you were like scared of the other phoenixes too, weren't you? 'Cause you were like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah. When I came over to protect you, and you're like, no! Although I will say that Beans, our Durant Phoenix, made a very, very good use of a weapons rack.
Oh, so it was if
Trying
you.
to steal my gig.
No, she used it differently than you would have.
Oh wow.
She used it defensively.
What?
Yeah.
Defensive weapons rack.
rack.
But after that battle and everything, there's been sort of an awkward couple of weeks where you've not been on assignment.
Chilling.
You've been one or two. I'm sure some of you have been in your crucibles, not necessarily coming back the next day, but maybe a few days later or a week later. But you haven't been on assignment. You've just sort of been on Pyre, and there's sort of a combination feeling of maybe you guys are getting sort of like time off because you've been pretty much an active wing for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and successful as much as you've had some problems. Something is coming in. But it's taking its time, but it's going to get there. Oh, crap. Oh, serious crap.
Oh no, did someone pay $800 for me to kill someone?
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, then we're going to do that. This game's going to take a weird turn. Okay, so things are going relatively normally. You've sort of been you've been benched basically, but and it's not implicit that it is like a negative thing. It might be sort of just time off. It might be like you got to rest that arm, so you're going to hit the bench. And then
I can't wait.
When Sax lost, it's
and then different political machinations were happening all around, which we'll get to in a second. Somewhere in the middle of the Grand Eerie, Honor, who's the Durant Marshal, is like, "Get me the Reborn Wing," or whatever. But meanwhile, it's getting late and there's a full moon out. And Varia is wandering through the common square on the Eerie when it wants out, and Varia wolfs out in the middle of. And thank you, Troha, for wolfing out one of our PCs in the middle of their home base.
All right. So you're going to be level 6. Or rank 6.
I'm sure the marshals have some sort of non-lethal way of taking her down, but
It's a nuclear bomb, but we're phoenixes, so we're cool.
One of the I forget the name of the Forceful in Braid's wing. It's one of the mods. They're all named after the mods. Mm-hmm. So whatever the Forceful, we'll say unless Braid remembers which one of you is the Forceful, we'll say Space Colonizer is the name. For some reason, their Forceful is named Space Colonizer, which is a reference no one actually gets. But in his
was the last game.
Yeah, but in his Crucible, he's colonizing space. But and then he comes back and tries to explain it to people, and they're like, "That doesn't truck with me." But Space Colonizer, who moves very fast, like zips up really. And arrives with the two of you are sitting having a meal somewhere, and he's like, you may want to get to the square as soon as you can, and and then where you
I feel
are.
like we look at each other and just say, Varia.
Braid and you are playing some sort of game of chance somewhere, and she's covered in thorns, so the two of you get along fantastically.
Bumblebee peg.
Yeah, and she's going, and then just like a an attendant, one of the mortals that spends time at the Crucible, like their bloody body hits the window in front of you. Like, she goes, I think that's a you. I think that's you. So, you're out in the middle of the square under a full moon. What are you doing, Mac?
I don't know who's around.
Well, there was an attendant a few seconds ago, and there are there's generally attendants are because they venerate phoenixes, so they're kind of like, oh no, she's in crisis, and so they're trying to run up to you, being like, it's going to be okay.
Because you figure she's gonna try and hold it back a little bit, she's
Right.
gotten used to this. But when that happens, that's a snapping point. She cannot control it anymore. So I imagine she's going to yell and at least try the first time, just get away. But people may not get away.
All right.
And if they don't, she's going to lunge at them.
There's definitely a few. Okay, if you'd like to everyone draw up, and Mac take the torch. Would
you say this is combat?
Yeah, this is combat.
Oh,
Cool.
boy.
I get to draw 3 extra
And
cards.
you know what? She's enraged.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead
Yeah.
and take a wound because she's going to go ahead and she's almost completely her full wolf self and let it flip and change her talon over to Grimclaw.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
what happens
I'm
here.
assuming that has a physical effect now. So do your claws get longer, sort
Probably,
of,
and I think there's
saber-tooth style?
There's maybe a little bit more that she can wolf out. She's got a little bit of snout, but not completely. But I feel like she does get a little bigger. The teeth get a little longer. She's got more of the full snout. It's kind of the realization of what she's eventually going to be, and almost standing up on 2 legs is hard now. She's kind of swapping between 2 and 4 because she can't keep upright anymore.
Okay. So she's clearly in full wolf out mode. I'm gonna say that you guys can choose that members of the wing here can choose to attack to subdue, just like in D&D, but it has to be an attack that would make practical sense for that. You can't be like, I shoot her with a bazooka to subdue her, although that not be necessary.
I don't think that would work. I really don't.
Let's see here. So that's 2 times a 3 draw. Draw 3 for. Okay, so.
Chad, this
Talk
is
me through
beautiful. This is beautiful, Chad.
So someone has bought
how it's
2
done.
draw 3s.
Oh.
Yes. One for Michael, 1 for Tara, 1 for Robert, and 3 for Matt.
Okay. All right. So wait, is it?
You guys just
Are
want to
they
watch
3
me kill
draw
everyone.
3s, or are they?
He bought 6 draw 3s.
He bought 6 draw 3s. Okay. So here's that.
This is for real.
Here's that.
Probably for
Yeah.
keeps,
See,
Oh, boy.
see. Well, I mean, we'll get you at rank 5 before the end of the day, Chad.
Yeah.
Catch you right up.
Payback. Let me tell you, when you show up in the square, things are going to get real.
Oh boy. Oh,
All right. First
boy.
off, I'm pulling those 2 freebies back. You guys have more than enough.
But, no. Okay.
And Mac, I'm giving you 2 of them right now. I'm gonna hold back a 3rd one for when you've calmed down. That's.
I'd say
All of
if.
them now.
No, this you'll get for being a very good role player when you're done. Otherwise, you'll kill
Oh,
the
is
party.
that how that's going to work?
Yeah, that's how I do it. I'm
I
giving
mean,
it to
she
you.
is going to try to struggle against it,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't work out so well for her.
Wherever you guys are looking at the battle, you sort of turn around and you see this slight sort of glint of a half mask. Don't worry, it's not the puppeteer. It's Winter. Although Winter's like, what? All right. But Winter's there, and she goes, the marshals would rather let you take care of this, but we'll step in if we have to.
Hopefully we won't need that.
All right.
Is there
Just hang back.
an arena or something where phoenixes spar, or do we just kind of?
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
All right.
And
But this
also,
is where we are right now.
Well, but I mean,
Pyre is a sort of volcanic plop. And so I see you, Space Colonizer. Thank you. It's a relatively small volcanic island, mostly made up of basalt rock and whatnot, and the buildings are all kind of on top of that, including the Grand Eerie.
Okay.
So there's a big sort of arena space, but also anywhere outside of town is basically just bare rocks with with surf crashing on them, and then anything past that is just the ocean. So a significant hit could throw anyone into the sea at this point.
Yeah.
I will say that Braid and Space Colonizer and the other members of that wing are the only other wing in town. Apparently, they're like your supporting characters wing. They're
the West Coast reborn.
Yeah, and so they're sort of, they'll back you as best they can. Like, so you can already see Space Colonizer is like zipping through, pulling attendants out of reach of Mac at this point. But they also won't engage. This is on you.
Yeah, remember, she's a monster wolf, but she also has like wolf tendencies too. So
Sure.
just throwing that out.
I'm going to try and lead her to someplace more isolated. Follow my lead.
Sounds
all right?
good.
So,
go
yeah.
there.
I have the torch. So who's around?
Well, I mean, you could, if you need a target, like I'm saying, all three of them are sort of observing you at a distance, so you could make a run for any of them, or throw something at them for a spark.
Because it's a ranged attack.
Yeah, because it's a ranged attack.
Well, I mean, she's
Oh
trying
my
to keep
God.
it in control, but I just imagine her brain keeps flashing
Yes.
with the fact that the reason she died last time was Eerie.
Yeah,
So
and
she's
also
like,
Ink is there, so you know it's a target-rich environment for you.
Yeah, that is very true.
All right, so make a choice.
I'm gonna go after Eerie.
All right.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Power from Pain,
Okay.
which lets me draw a card as well as use my wounds, which I have one of now. I'm really sorry, dude.
Oof.
Oh. She's really sorry. Yeah,
So
look
are
how
you-
sorry she is.
Are you gonna? I don't mind these sort of terminology, but it's sometimes when it has a strange connotation. Anyway, this is how my brain wanted me to say this sentence. Are you going to get up on him, or are you going to throw something at him? Because it'll cost you a spark.
She's gonna go running at him, but he's also fast. Like, I think
Right.
she's gonna keep that in mind.
So
I don't think she has the forethought to throw something at this point. It's just gonna be attack.
Okay, so either way, I'm going to cost you a spark to get to him because otherwise he'll outrun you. So I'll let you get the attack through. So that's what you're dealing with.
So that's actually
That's
like
a lot of cards.
a lot. That's 7, 9, 16, 21.
21? All right.
Yeah, that
Could be
is
worse.
21 right now. Sorry, dude, but I had the cards. I had to do this.
Yep. Nope. This is as it should be.
I hope you're happy, chat.
Oh, you are.
Hey, Brain, you can do the picking on this one. Send a message into chat for which one of the mods should be the Durant from your wing, because that Durant's going to be here and help out.
I have this, so it's actually 25.
Yeesh.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I forgot about
That's
that.
really mean.
Man,
just
I wonder how
cold.
I'm even gonna
Hey,
do this.
chat is the one that made this happen.
It's all right. The marshals are here, so don't worry. There is a safety net.
I'm just trying to get you up
Yeah.
to the next level to
And
match
I
up with
appreciate
us.
that. That is helpful. I've got what is it? 13?
Okay.
13 in defense, and basically what I'm trying to do is dodge under. I'm going to take a lot of the claws, but get behind her and wrap my chain around her neck. Just climb up on her back and whisper the chant into her just a little bit.
Oh! All right, so
Just to slow her
I
down.
imagine him attacking
Just
them,
the
and
chorus.
it's like Dracula 2000 where he
Just the
goes,
chorus,
he's like,
baby.
I'm really sorry, man. This is attacking.
I know.
okay, so here's what. So there you go.
Oh, fuck.
Put that in her discard. So, but here's the thing: is just in case anyone's worried at home who knows how this game works, you can see.
Mix it into it, right?
What's that?
Mix it into the discard?
Yeah, shuffle. That can't be your discard pile. It's your draw pile.
Or a draw pile, sorry.
No, mix it into your discard pile.
Oops. Never mind. I'll put that on top of that and then I'll mix up this other shit.
So,
Derp.
the like, what's his? Why do I never remember the elemental marshals?
Ember. Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Ember.
Fahrenheit? I don't know.
Yeah, Ember is going to repress the chant in you, so you're still going to take a wound every time that comes up, but you're not going to put a chant outbreak on by her. And you can see Ember give you as you're crawling around. Ember's in the back. He's a giant flaming bearded man going. Fuck, really, the chant? Piece of shit. But yeah, and then he's like, ugh. And you can see him casting to hold it back.
We got backup. I'm not worried.
Looks like Fakwad is the name of the healer in this wing. And you can already see him sort of moving around the edges trying to get close to you. So what was that? What was your defense?
What was it?
25?
13, so 12.
12? All right, divide that by 2. Can anyone bolster this?
Not it.
Oh.
Actually, yes, I can.
Okay.
I can add 3 to that.
Okay.
Eerie!
Okay.
Jerk her this way!
Okay.
Stop helping!
As it were.
That's 9, and you can
All right.
throw something down on that as
A
well?
little bit of that.
Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3 wounds from her right there. That's like a lot
Yeah,
of
well, you almost nuked him right away.
Yeah, he almost one-shotted it, poor guy.
I'm sorry, that's what was in my hand.
Do you want to use? I'll let you run it as subdual. Do you want to use your counterattack? Because that was a melee attack.
Yeah.
So what is she? She gets a. So that's a defense of what was
12.
your 12? That's a defense of 12.
Hold on. No, I won't do that. That's horrible. I had something that's really bad, and I'm going to go ahead and go with that because she's so fucked up and enraged right now. So
So that
I
is.
can only lay down the 1. Unless you activate the Shadow Wolf ability, and then I'm really going to fuck your
Oh
shit
no!
up.
Oh no! That happened. But I'm not unlocking it yet. You like let chat off the chain, and they will find a way.
You guys are the best. I love you
He
today.
tries to go back through the Imperial Flame. Back to his crucible. Fuck this. I'm gonna go read comic books.
I think I left something in a book. I'll see ya. So that is 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's 4. Just take 4 sparks and put them on your wound levels there. So these are subdual wounds. So that not only are they taking, they're knocking you out, but they're also deplenishing your ability to use sparks.
Okay. I like this. I like this mechanic because otherwise one of us would be dead very, very fast.
Yeah. So he's basically like holding. He's on your neck. All right. So and I'm gonna let you influence like her. You can spend against her defense if you need to. All right. So who's gonna take the torch?
I'll try something.
Go for it.
We know how Idalia likes to experiment
Yeah,
and try
you guys
new
all
things.
3 will get an action before her, so you might be able to put her down pretty quick. Oh, and the Shadow Wolf takes off now. Like once he's on your back, you're like no, and you would like feel like the tangible fear shadow pass through your body, and then you're holding onto her, but there's like the big giant Shadow Wolf like directly above you, and like the marshal's like, oh fuck. Really?
A chant infected.
Yeah, sand infected super wolf.
Oh, God.
I've had some good times in this game. I think this might be my favorite.
All right, what do you got, Idalia?
All right, everybody, just humor me, okay? Just
Sorry,
gonna,
sidebar real quick. I picture the boss of the Dread somewhere going, like, really? This is messed up. This is really messed up. Sorry, go for it.
They say the bitters are a corruption of the Dread, but we're not even that bad.
All right. Let's see if this works then. Okay. So clearly she needs to get this out of her system. On hopefully not one of us. We've got some critters around the place, right? It's kind of barren. I would have liked a deer or something, but we are not around a forest. So I'm going to see if I can kind of summon some of the local wildlife.
You gonna chum the place?
Better than us being chummed, don't you think?
All right. To take a drink.
So what is your
So I use my, my sort of like soothing powers and my sort of nature in tuneness, and I see like this can work on animals too, right? Maybe small animals if that's what we've got. So snakes, lizards. Do we have anything bigger around here? What's a good
Snow White thing?
I don't know. Coyotes?
Well, what do you want them to do?
I want them to come towards her so that she can just unleash on them and see if that just gets her wolfy bullshit out.
All right. That is a skill spread. We'll make that.
Okay.
Somebody.
I'm gonna turn this off for a
Well
second.
done, chat. You broke Mac.
Somebody vent Mac. That's a skill spread. I don't think. I think that's maybe a spirit spread. You're sort of communicating with them spirits.
Okay. Cool. So we've got Dear God. All right.
Not the microphone, I'm sorry. Oh my god, it's like all my dreams are coming true.
It's been a good day. Good day for Mac.
I've been awake since really early. This is the best day ever.
Hopefully I'm going to give you some shit to kill here. So, all right, I only have, whenever I try this stuff too, I never have much to go with, but I've got, can it be intellect partly?
Yeah, sure.
Good, because that's what we've got. This is not going to work. So I've got.
May we all have the level of joy that you are feeling in this moment.
Let me see. So 5, 10, 16. Is there anything else I want to do? Can I burn a spark? So far I'm at 16.
16. I mean, the next appreciable level, because it kind of goes by like fives,
Oh, right.
would be 20.
So can't.
Unless
Yeah.
you want to burn a bunch of sparks, that's where you're at.
I'll put it over here.
You'd have to. I think that'd be 4 sparks though. Oh, no, that starts on its orange side as it is. So.
Oh.
So yeah. So if
right.
you want to burn the sparks for that.
Okay. Yeah. Because that gives me another 5.
All right.
No.
Yeah. 21 to summon her some stuff to kill.
Okay. So there
Little blue blurred lands on your finger and
there aren't a lot of wildlife at all,
Yeah.
like natural
Fish are
wildlife.
flopping up
So
on
like,
the rocks.
well, here's the thing: is like rats like run out like a small and they don't know what they're doing. The rats like running out towards Varia, and then like some birds are flying down, and you hear like brrr, and like some sort of whale-like creature jumps out of the surf. Like rolls onto it, and you're sort of pulling it all in, and there's a brief spark behind your eyes of the terrible evil queen that you secretly are. And do you want to? Can you make more spreads, or do you want to pass the torch?
Not unless I draw up.
this
which
is the
wait,
best
Yeah.
worst.
Wait, no, that was a skill spread, so I can totally.
No, you still during combat. Any spread
okay.
runs you out.
So unless I use all these, which
All right,
I don't know
so
if I want to do.
Pass it on. So give it to one of
Yeah.
the boys.
Next.
Thank you. Thank you, cards,
Thank
Mag.
you. I'll take
Oh,
my
wait, did you
kids.
go or did you just counterattack?
Yeah,
you
you can
wanna
go.
attack
That's
them.
counterattack.
Oh,
So
do you
you
wanna
saw
go?
both of them coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's something I can do.
So you're on Varya's back.
Yeah, and I'm just doing the Rancor thing, just trying to
Yeah.
choke her out with the chain.
Okay. You can go ahead. That's a melee attack of whatever type you want.
No.
Melee.
Let's see if we got enough to do it. 7, 10, 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12.
12. All right. So defense 12, Mac. And you've got the Shadow Wolf up. So go spend them. That's what they're there for.
Interesting for later. All right. So I have Shadow Wolf. I also have Vengeful, so in a defense spread, I can make an attack back against
Okay.
the attacker.
Did not consider that.
But I have to spend 2 sparks, so it gets me down a little bit more there. So that gives me 6, and I get to hit him back.
All right. 6. And what was yours? 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. 12.
I can't even pick up cards anymore, Jesus.
So 6 divided by 2 is 3. He just put you out. So you're parting shotting him.
Okay.
So you.
Oh, I have an interesting idea then
Okay.
as he's taking me out then. All right, so I have crude but effective. And that card. I'm going to, as he's getting me, since he's got the chain around my neck, I'm going to go ahead and grab the chain and slam his head into the back of my head.
Okay.
Oh.
I like that.
That is
All right,
pretty
so-
So that actually gives me, since you aren't letting me have any more wound damage towards people right now, because
Yeah.
whatever, that gives me 14.
14. Defend against 14.
5.
That was all the cards in my hand.
Oh, yeah. This is a.
Would I be
okay.
if I get more?
I mean, actually pull that so I can do. 9. Okay.
9. So 5 divided by 2 is, we'll say that's 2. So take 2 more wounds,
Oh my God.
and Varya goes down. Thank you, chat. And here you can have your remaining rerolls.
These are mine now. This is blood money. These are blood rerolls.
All right, so the
Damn.
Farquaad comes over to you and goes like, "That was close," and he draws off some of your wounds, and
thanks.
and then he looks over at the whale, and the whale's like, "Oh," and he's like, puts him on the whale. The whale's like, "Ah," and then he like pushes the whale into the sea, and sort of does like the dusted hands thing.
Well, my job's done.
We didn't even
just-
get into the fucking adventure. This is beautiful.
Just as a precautionary measure, Ink goes over and writes Silver Bullet and Wolf's Bane
All right.
in the air. On top of you.
Yeah, that's it. We're playing by traditional werewolf rules, but I'm a phoenix.
Yes,
So
well.
a morning goes by. So Mac, you get your sparks back that you have there. Plus, actually, essentially, you're all up to your full amount of sparks. Did you spend 1?
Yeah.
And you spent 3, Mac. There you go. So you can take them all back, and your wounds clean out, and you get Farquaad took care of all that for you.
All that bullshit.
All right, so you were sort of called into the office, the principal's office the
Am I
next
on
day.
double secret probation now?
And this is Honor, the Durant Marshal. Honor is yet another empty suit of armor. Although Honor is sort of a strange one. He's sort of like a combination between an empty suit of armor and like leather bondage gear. He's all metal and leather, and you can't see any crack in his armor. There's leather behind it, and so even the eye holes and whatnot. He just basically looks like someone like made a mannequin out of armor pieces. Also, he's about 10 feet tall, and his voice comes from anywhere you are. So, like, it's like a booming voice in whatever room you're in if he's talking to you. And he's tried it. It actually works for a few miles. So, like, if you're like on a boat off Pyre, you'd be like, "How's it going?" And you're like, "How's it going?" So, Honor is one of the most venerated of the Durants. He was definitely he survived several major battles. One of the first Phoenixes ever to come back. He brings you in and says, Well, this was not how this meeting was supposed to go. I have use of your wing and your particular talents, but now I'm wondering if you're a piece on the chessboard I can't trust to behave itself. And he walks you over, and there's a map, and it's sort of like it's a table like this, right? But imagine it basically has like sort of a geometric wood pattern in the center of it. And he sort of goes over and he puts his hands on the table, and the wood starts to burn, like sort of smolder and burn, and it burns into the shape of the map of the world as you know it. And it's like a topographical map, replete with like little buildings and whatnot and everything in sort of miniature. And he goes, "As you know, he keeps one hand on the table. As you know, we're facing dread outbreaks here and here," and those sections burn again and change into like revealing like sort of army structures that are sort of moving along the map. And he goes, "And we've been having trouble with chant outbreaks here and here," and again like little fires. And when the fire is over, you can see like the city is now ruined. And he goes, "We're fighting them on all sides. And unfortunately, a third party has become involved that we can no longer tolerate. Idalia, you're from the capital, or from this area. You know about the Talu house gods?"
Ah, yes, of course. I know it well.
Good job, Tara. The house gods, as you tell the party, are basically each of the Talu houses, which are houses like in the sort of clan sense, not like literally a house, would have a particular deity that they would sort of bind to their house to sort of protect them. And it was a benevolent relationship. They weren't like controlling the deity. And the only way or the best way for that deity to interact would be for the deity to be assigned an avatar, usually a young child, very young, so young that they were too innocent to have any sort of mark on them at all by the world, would be bound to it, and they would basically be the god's avatar, and the child would become essentially one being. And then that child would be able to sort of like direct the influence of that god to benefit the house of that Talu house. This practice was banned thousands of years ago because the house gods are capricious and terrible and hard to control and dangerous. But they are, when they're behaving themselves, an incredibly useful tool, and why the Talu were able to basically control the entire world before the coming of the Phoenixes and the Great War. When the Phoenixes basically put a wall up, protecting or preventing the connection that would allow that kind of relationship to take place. So the house gods were basically pushed away, and people still worship them. but they didn't have any true effect. Well, as the sort of veil between the dusk world and the day world has been getting significantly thinner as the war with the Dread has continued, the people of Katrica, which is one of the major coastal cities and one of the more famous cities in the capital, have managed to connect their house god to a human vessel, which was not a good idea. And this human vessel, now the house god is benevolent, in theory, like fully benevolent. This mysterious, powerful creature just wants to sort of help the world. In fact, it more specifically wants to help the thing it's bound to. So it sort of responds to the emotions of its avatar. Unfortunately, the child they chose turned out to be a little bit of a shit. And so they created this avatar, this house god. The house god was sort of protecting Katrica, which was great because Katrica has been able to keep itself safe, and the Talu guard there have been able to drive back the Dread. But now the avatar, the house god, has been getting increasingly more demanding of tribute and sacrifice, bloody sacrifice. He's essentially become Caligula, but it's a 5-year-old, or it's like a 9-year-old Caligula, and with incredible amounts of supernatural power.
So it's like a magical Joffrey Lannister?
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
To make matters worse, the Dio Beacon, which is this gigantic sort of lighthouse structure that towers above Katrica, used to be a tool that the house gods could use to direct this like powerful cleansing laser fire almost anywhere they wanted. And it has been basically vacant. It's been used as a lighthouse sort of almost ceremonially for thousands of years, for generations. Well, this house god has been showing off it turns out, ability to turn it on. And this thing is within striking distance of Pyre. So now this house god is starting to make demands of the phoenixes, saying that the phoenixes have to do the behest of this house god, or this house god will turn its rage against Pyre and basically blast it out of the ground with sort of, death lasers from space. So, being as there are few wings in existence that are as powerful as you four currently, certainly what you lack in raw rank ability you make up for in your unpredictable chaotic strength. And because your unique nature makes you somewhat of a political deniability, we're going to send you to Katrica to solve this problem however you have to. So whether that's some sort of permanent placation of this house god, or taking it off the table, or changing its vessel, or destroying the Dio Beacon, at which point we'll just let Katrica have a house god until after the war, because at that point it won't be in a position to threaten the phoenixes. Whatever you need to do to solve this problem. But I should warn you that not only is the house god itself incredibly powerful, and its range significantly further than the child's actual range, her influence excels far past where you'd think a child's influence would. But her entire military force begrudgingly supports her in this, mainly because she can destroy their homes and lives at a whim. So you will be opposed at every turn by mortals, which has not been a problem for you in the past. Which is weird. You can tell he's talking to you because he's looking at you, but it's the same booming voice, which has not been a problem for you in the past. Like, someone in the hallway's like, me? No.
Not you, Lenny.
All right, so you'll be opposed there, and who knows what other supernatural elements they may have dragged into this fray. Even more unfortunate, we're to understand that the Dio Beacon has been aimed not just at Pyre, but also at the Eerie in Katrica. So we're sending you by boat. And essentially,
good.
on an unofficial, if you will, stealth mission, although obviously we know that's not quite possible considering your appearance.
Nope.
A small platoon of Imperial soldiers will support you from the boat, but they won't be heading with you into town. We don't want to make any official presence known. We've sent Beans and Kelvin with a larger force outside the city to the north, able to march in the event that things go truly wrong. If we have to make a play for the house god itself, and you aren't able to do it, call on the strike. And he gives Ink like a small coin. And he's like, with this, you'll be able to communicate with me, and I'll be able to communicate with the rest of your wing if necessary, and I can send a message.
Understood, Marshal.
In the event that Ink falls, one of you better get your hands on that coin. I don't want to get any calls from random Talu citizens. And, of course, we'll discuss what happened yesterday when you get back. But for what it's worth,
I feel like ears are down.
your new tail is like between your legs. Of course, though, it turned out to be essentially a proof of concept for what we need from you. So in some sideways way, I suppose it was a good thing.
Really?
We're all strange here. We'll find a way to use it. Your boat's waiting for you.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces seem ugly when you're alone, Marshal.
Is that from something?
I'll tell you on the boat.
I wish I had remembered to tell when I saw Keith Baker in Portland last weekend. I wish I remembered to tell him that your Crucible was like this incredible archive of our world's pop culture.
It's all the worlds. I
Yeah.
just happen to be referencing on purpose.
It's such a great character choice. I love Ink. All right, so
Totality of knowledge. So yeah.
I'm just gonna nap for the rest of this game.
As we're walking away, I kind of make it. I don't look at anybody directly, but I say I'm not killing a child. There's been too many innocent lives lost in this war already. I urge you all, as my wingmates, to help me find a solution that doesn't involve any more death.
Well, you know I don't want to kill a child. Thank you for joining my club.
You're welcome.
All right.
Frankly, it's not you I'm concerned about.
What if the child's a real asshole?
He has a point.
We'll take him under our wing and change him for the best.
How many
that
times have we
worked out
found
for
things that are irredeemable, though? It's been a lot.
Have we tried therapy, though? I mean, you know.
You know, it's hard to try therapy when they're trying to murder you.
I personally am of the opinion that we try to reason with the god, and if that does not work out in our favor, we destroy the lighthouse, the beacon.
There is no good interaction with the Dusk World. Fallen house gods dread.
What was
It's
that
all
quote
the
you told me
same.
once? Go get her, Ray.
I believe what I said was, if somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
I feel like I would love to just record or take a sample of the audio of this show and add in all the like affectations that your manifestations have. So like have all the whispered voices behind everything Mike says, have chains shaking whenever you talk, do like the snarl track behind you.
A weird sort of, yeah.
I can only do so much without completely having no voice.
We just auto-tune Tara. So.
This week, Varia will be played by Tom Waits.
Are you watching
Go
right now?
Eerie.
Yeah.
Because
Kill a kid.
that effect
Was
they put
that
on
Tom Waits or
Ragnar's voice.
Beetlejuice?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the answer is
Worst.
yes.
I will say, though, I've seen a lot now, especially my last Crucible, and if it comes down to it, killing the kid, I mean, greater good. Let's just not take it off the table now that I think about it.
I'm not killing a child. You all can behave however you see fit.
We will remember that as your stance.
Cloak flip. Good day, sir.
All right, Danger Cape. All right, so so the boat's waiting for you.
Ink, right?
I love how we've like separated the moral imperative of this table. We
We don't need any bipartisan wing dynamics, you know?
We does what needs to be done.
so there's a Wisteria vessel waiting for you when you get down to the shore. They're still like sort of taking a broom. Grab me one, please, too,
Yes.
Tara. They're still brooming
Jack, do you
I
fish.
also have pumpkin beer down
This
here.
is fine.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Options. Everything's on the table.
Halloween Kit Kats.
Ooh.
They're white chocolate, but they're orange. So they're orange chocolate, I guess.
Oh, neat.
Anyway,
But literally orange chocolate, not orange flavored chocolate.
yes, correct.
just orange colored.
Chemicals.
Oh man.
Though it's a Wisteria vessel, or Windiri. Sorry, Windiri. It's a Windiri vessel. They've sort of, they're clearing it out, getting it ready for you. They're brooming like fish and dead rats off the other section still. Braid and Farquaad and Space Colonizer and all those are like all out there like watching. Like it was like it's sort of an even split. Half of them were like, you true legends, you fucking legends, having a huge fight in the middle of the fire, and the others are like, you idiots, and sort of like a lot, sort of that's going on. So you get on the boat.
I honestly thought it was going to be Idalia to be the next to freak out. Try and kill one.
I've been
of
holding
us.
myself together pretty well, don't
you
you?
remember the city, the walled city, and all those people that died because she decided she wanted to have people worship
I
her?
felt really
Hardly
bad
an
about
effort.
that. I died out of guilt for that.
Yes, well, phoenixes who are sorry for what they've done stop doing that.
Yeah.
She was kind of a bitch.
I know. I'm working on it.
At least I've got like an excuse.
All right,
And then I kill
so
everyone on the trip.
we don't unless I mean this is the advantage of
I-
a sort of open source not open source, but like open table sort of style. Does anyone want to role play anything on the trip over, or do we want to just fast track that?
I see you looking over here. What do you got to say, Ink?
And he looks kind of like a Norman Rockwell painting right now, very earnest, kind of photorealistic, and he's like, no, nothing, nothing at all.
This is I don't like this any better.
And then he looks like he's drawn by Frank Miller.
Still not okay. Eerie, even?
I didn't hold it against you the first time.
Fair.
Idalia is up on the deck, sort of looking out at the
Wind in her hair.
yes, and
Wait,
and you-
extra wind.
Extra
with
wind,
the
extra
carry.
The opposite direction.
yeah, people like walking by and like getting confused and walking into walls. I see it. Keep it up there though, so until I use it. But it's not no. But you're sort of looking off, and like the water is relatively still. The boat is sort of like slipping through the Windiri, or like truly gifted seamen, and you're sort of moving through without much problem. And you notice your reflection in the water. And you sort of, and then there's like a disturbance behind you on the boat, and you sort of turn away for a second, and then you turn back, and your reflection in the water has the mask of the puppeteer on it, and you can hear him in your head as he talks back to you, and he says, "Remember, I'm always here if you want to make a deal." Don't worry, it doesn't necessarily mean I have to control your body. There's all kinds of types of control. Everyone owes someone something.
Everyone does.
And then like the mask washes off your face in the reflection as it sort of falls into the water. And then he's gone. There we go. There's 4 role plays in one in one boat trip. I dare you to find an RPG with that kind of packed in role play density.
I gotta check with everybody. Did anybody else sense? No? Okay, never mind. Go on. Sorry.
Idalia, are you all right?
Since what?
No, I had a cough. No.
I'm sorry, you had a cough?
No, just since when do you listen to me this much? Just stop.
Because these.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's fine. Just fish are pretty. It's okay. It was sparkly, and I like that. So me and sparkles.
Shiny things.
I
Shiny
hear
things.
voices too.
Right? Okay.
All right, so while the crew of the ship spent most of the trip trying to figure out which part of the boat they wanted to be in the least, based on which terrible monstrosity they wanted to be near. Although I think like Ink now sounds very charming to be around because you're like a whole sort of art show just traveling
It's
down.
just like, wait a sec.
Yeah. And of course, Idalia is great, and people still come and kneel at your feet. But you get there eventually, and you can actually pull right into the port of Katrica. And you can see like the Deo beacon is, or Dio beacon is a significant structure. It's like a lighthouse if you took it up to 11. It's, we're talking 50 stories tall, made out of like, it looks a lot like Sauron's tower out of Lord of the Rings, and it looks like it was crafted out of just sort of, someone just sort of like took a mountain and just shaved everything else down, because it has its seamless stone walls. And on the top of it, there's like a sort of section, like a diagonal sort of slice through it, where the remaining top part of it just hovers over that. And in that is sort of like the chamber where like the light source would be. And you can see that it's lit somehow, like it's not, and you know from fire, and it's not fire in there. It's some sort of, like coalescing light energy is in the top of this thing as it floats above it. And it's like scanning around and looking at stuff. It is definitely some sort of active targeting thing up there. And the head of the lighthouse alone, or the head of the Deo beacon alone, is probably as big as any building you've ever been in. And there's a big giant shaft underneath it that gets all the way up there. So like it is huge and solid and serious looking. It's clear from the minute you hit you step foot off the dock that everyone in the city is a little bit freaked out. They essentially elected the wrong leader. Oh shit. You should have one more life, shouldn't you? Do you have 7? Am I miscounting that?
Yeah, I have 7.
I'm losing the ability to count dots by perspective. Sorry, chat.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Donate now for my optical, for laser eye surgery. I'll still wear fake glasses. So the people there are definitely like, there's a little bit of a sort of like, you ever see that Twilight Zone where she shows up in the Twilight Zone, the movie, where they go to the woman's house and like her kid has supernatural powers and like everyone's like super on edge because if they say anything wrong, it will like turn them into like stone or something.
It's the bad seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He sends him to the cornfield.
It's a Good Life.
Yeah.
Oh, It's a Good Life in that one, but I think is it called? No, I guess it is A Good Life.
I think it was a remake of one of the original series.
It is,
too,
and
so.
actually, the
Yeah,
kid,
I think it was actually
the actor
called A
who
Good
played
Life,
the kid in the original has a cameo in that that segment.
Yeah, the original's better.
Bill Mumy.
Damn.
Bill
Moomy.
Yes.
Mumy.
Do you want to see something really scary?
So in that sense, so that's kind of like the mood everyone seems to have. It's not really clear what reach the house god has in the city. The city's huge, but like the kid could be around any corner, and if you're like caught saying anything negative, the avatar could destroy you.
Send you to the
And now
cornfield.
I'm thinking of the Simpsons episode that is a tribute to that.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is a Good Life.
Happy
There's
touch,
a
happy
Thinking
touch,
Bad
happy
Seed.
touch. Yeah, boy, I sure am sick of this. Wow, wow, woof, woof.
Yeah, the original he sends him to the cornfield. Though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't want to go to the cornfield.
That's where the children of the corn are in a crossover.
All right. Well, it seems like, and now this is what happens when we incentivize chat to to buy your flares.
Do it.
And then sort of let chat off the chain. They do things like this. Idalia, you like notice all these people, bowing in reverence of the house god, and inexplicably you find yourself jealous. And you're wondering why
Well
they're
done.
not worshiping you at this level.
Oh, chat, you are
And
wonderful.
out comes some hideous beauty.
What is this?
Thank you, Braid, for that donation, by the way.
Braid, I love you. If we're not Facebook friends, let's rectify that.
Oh my God, this is glorious.
All right, clearly these people need a little bit of my touch. I think that would do wonders. I think everyone would appreciate that, right? A soothing, calm, what do you call
She's doing
people
the
who live in
thing
a
again.
town?
I hear that tone of
Words. I
voice.
can make up a word. It doesn't matter what I say. I don't have to remember the word. All these humans.
Let her do it. I'm going to do a little reconnaissance. Flip.
I think it's
And
better
I
when I go
disappear.
and just am like a horrible monster. I don't know what this is.
All right, so almost any amount of direct effort on your part to sort of woo any innocence, and and you start pulling some over. So like you don't have to work
I'm
very
sending out my
hard.
soothing.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Is that good?
You're
Yes.
a
You.
blue,
Take
gorgeous goddess in a golden sort of cage suit who's like levitating in front of them. They are happily
Check this
doing
out.
it. And your ink is sort of like shifting off into the city, going away.
This
but
was supposed to be a covert operation.
you can already see like Talu guards like going and like running up in places, and you looking up the hill, like the sort of city's on a hill, and it goes further on. So this is traveling away from the beacon. You can see the palace, and these like guards are like daisy chain running up towards the palace now that like Idalia is basically becoming a heretical god spirit.
I can't believe I'm doing it again, but it feels so good.
Can we take her down now?
So we'll take a second with Ink. So where are you headed?
I want to get to the beacon and just
Okay.
kind of see what security's like, just kind of get the lay of the land around there, because that's Ink's goal.
Okay.
Is to take away the weapon of mass destruction. We
right.
can deal with the political fallout leader, we can deal with the house god, but that thing is dangerous to have on the table.
So, are you using your powers to appear as like a mortal, or are you using your powers to be essentially
Hidden.
invisible?
I'm like almost literally stepping from shadow to shadow as
Okay.
much as I can.
So you're traveling through, and the beacon is basically was like not used forever. So there's no actual good way to get from like the docks to it. I mean, now there's like a sort of constructed like military style constructed bridge to it.
Right.
The house god probably doesn't have to be in it or near it to activate it. But like
Or
setting
have
it
any
up,
conventional way to access it necessarily.
yeah.
So
But like but because it's now become an active part of the city, like there's like guards around it, and like there's a giant sort of stone wooden metal door. That's like it's beautiful and huge, like unnecessarily huge, and it was at one point chained. You can see like the old rusted chains next to it, but it's shut. You won't. There's the shaft of the tower is seamless up to like the crack, hundreds of feet up.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck off, everybody. I heard what I said, and I meant it. I'm gonna live in that world. All right. Okay. So you're right there at like this sort of taint in the.
This
See,
game is great.
We brought you back. All right. Okay.
It's his turn.
Meanwhile, we'll take a second. So anyway, you're gonna have to find a way to open those doors or get them to be open.
Basically,
Yeah.
Unless I actively kind of perceive that there's some commotion going on down where I left my compatriots, I'm going to stay there, see if I can see any sort of pattern to guards or anything
Okay.
like that.
All right, so we'll leave you there for a second.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's pretty clear that some sort of like retinue has been dispatched from the palace, heading down. Like Idalia already is like sort of sitting on like a like sitting on a person's back and like sort of receiving presents. But there's like a retinue being like heading down from the palace in this direction. What it contains, you don't know.
I don't want in on any of this. I'd rather know where he went off to. I want to know if I can trail him based on
Smell?
tracking and smell.
Yes. I should also point out that despite being like a 9-foot tall, like full-on haired-out werewolf, because you are like a creature of the night, as it were.
Yeah, I have these shadows
Yeah,
thing
you-
in my skill set.
You can hide. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sort of one of those things where, like, once you're, it's like, those really scary moments in movies where you're like looking at something in the dark and it looks like something else, and then you realize it starts to move, and it turns out it wasn't a tree the whole time, but it
Yeah.
was like Pumpkinhead. You can do that kind of shit. Like you can,
Pumpkinhead.
Good, I'm Pumpkinhead.
yeah, you can sort of like hide almost in plain sight because of, in that way. You definitely like, you don't fit behind a trash can, but like you can. So do you want to sort of stealth after where you think he's going?
Wait,
Yeah,
Varya,
I'm gonna go follow him because
Okay.
I don't want in on this.
Before you leave, there's
No.
something that only you can do for me. I'm so sorry.
No.
I have such an itch, and you have those amazing claws. Could you please?
I hope
just,
you
like,
die.
Like people are running out of houses with rakes.
I thought I was bad, but the real monster here is you.
you don't have to do anymore. Just have your fun.
There begins like the terrible Idalian religion that is starting here already starts writing Varia in as the devil in their textbooks.
You did it to yourself.
So you sort of stealth off. If you want to make a skills check in shadows to actually like not, because these when these guards arrive, they will definitely they'll definitely notice that there's a werewolf here unless you hide.
Yeah.
Even as you're walking around, like that. You know.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do. I can use strength since it's one of my skill sets, and I get a +5.
Mm-hmm.
How high do I need to get here?
The higher you get, the better off you'll be.
So that's +5. So that gives me 9 plus another 6, so 15.
Sure. Even midday and amongst the commotion, you're able to sort of get in behind objects and move, and you're gigantic but absolutely silent when you want to be. And
Imagine like the old Looney Tunes cartoons, there's a do 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 do, and they just like hide behind a pole and then move to the next one.
It's made even easier though by the fact that, like, first off, the house god is coming. And so everyone's sort of like, everyone who's not currently in love with Idalia is already scattering, and then everyone else is just like looking at Idalia, being like, I wonder why her skin is so blue. It's blue like the sky. Like people like falling off the dock. Like, oh!
Yeah, I don't want to be near that.
I died for what I love.
Oh.
I'd swim, but the sound of my swimming might disturb her. Jen, what do you want to do?
Wow, you make it really work.
I'm hiding, keeping tabs on what's happening and what's going on. But
Okay. Do you want to make a stealth or scouting roll to stay hidden?
Speaking of which, should I have retroactively done like a spycraft spread or something, or
No,
did I
no, you're
sneak
fine.
off just? Okay.
You basically can. Don't you have the? Go away, mosquito, or go somewhere I can kill you, mosquito. Which is also something you just said. But you were talking to a person. Go away, mosquito.
Shoe fly.
Don't bother me.
I did shoot, of course.
But no, you can basically go hidden at will, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much by turning your
yeah.
talent over.
So yes, actually,
Yeah.
Dream Shadow is now flipped.
So and as long as that's flipped, you remain hidden from mortals under any circumstance.
Right. Until I attack.
Yeah.
Stupid mortals.
Yeah.
I got a spread of
We're all gonna die
10.
Some of us many times.
15 actually.
15?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, you, I mean, you're small, and, they're like sort of shadow chains on walls near you, and the strange distortion of reality sort of stops as you pull back into stealth mode. So, walking down the street, surrounded by, like, a whole, maybe like 15 or 20 priests who are clearly, like, wearing robes and regalia, and who have the symbol of the Dio house, is the house god, Serestra Dioasa, who is a, like, 12-year-old girl dressed in, like, incredibly gaudy, crazy gold. No, I think she's younger. Let's make her 10. Like, she needs to be, like a, way smaller than you think a ruler could be. And people are sort of scattering in the way of her. And there's a whole, like, platoon of guards around her, too.
King of the North.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm thinking like Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she sort of comes walking over to where you are in the dock. And she's, like, about to engage with Idalia. And you can almost sort of, like, feel that, like, supernatural shift around her. And she sort of looks over where you are, Eerie, and says, "He sees you. Come out."
Fair enough.
You can instantly tell that, like, the girl is not happy she did that, because as soon as you, like, your powers go back on, like, ah! Oh. And when she jumps, like spears go down for a second, and then there's also, but, like, it's weird, like, their spears go down against you, but they're all looking back because, like, a meteor could hit the entire docks because she was scared. Like, that's the kind of power she wields. So they're like, oh, okay, we're fine. She goes, "Yes, I see that you have come to greet me. You have an unusual way of getting my attention."
These are not yours.
You're counting in her mind. You can have that many. Someone get me some chocolate. And, like, one of the priests runs off to get chocolate. Chocolate arrives quickly, as if they have, like, chocolate depositories throughout the city to get her chocolate.
You like
Varia
it
finds them on the way.
Stop saying chocolate.
Back up in those.
Oh yeah.
We have chocolate. Appease!
Yes. Celestria. Whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we've got white, regular, and
Well, I like
Halloween.
how you were-
I gotta have regular because I can't do white chocolate, and the yellow and the orange chocolate is
There you
white
go.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can't do white chocolate. It's disgusting.
No.
I liked how you did that, though. You're like,
Well,
I feel like I'm already.
more for Mandy.
It put me in the body space.
So
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Sarestra sort of looks you up and down, and it's odd. She doesn't really have like a mechanism for someone also being a god near her, like, and so she might.
Sorry, this is really orange. It's like more orange than I was prepared for. So
It's like a sneaker, like a basketball.
Kit Kat by Nike.
Yes.
Sorry, go on.
You have diseases now.
Oh.
You have jaundice. Well, as long as you're content to contain yourself here to the docks as some sort of sea hag queen person, I suppose I'm okay with that. After all, I get to live in the palace because I'm the god.
Oh my
I think
God.
you know you're not worthy of the power you wield.
Ooh. No, this is good. This is refreshing. Because no one has questioned me in so long. I had a shirt on backwards for a whole day. I like her. She's great. I like her a lot. These people I'm less interested in. They're gonna go now. Bye bye bye. And like you can see them sort of like trying to figure out whether they want to like be dealing with her threat or like stay near you. And some of them scatter, like her powers are that good, and then some of them like are just staying, clinging to you, like sort of Michael Jackson dance-off
I
video
just
style.
had Michael Jackson in my head. That's
Yeah.
so funny when you said okay.
But the guards like quickly like these are like these are townsfolk. The guards seem to grab them like, no, Idalia, we love you, and they're like pulling them away until eventually there's only like a few more on you, and she's like, they can stay. This is taking too long. I invented watches. They're great. It only works because I want it to. But anything I want to have happen happens. Will you join me in the palace? Because I can't think of anything better than spending time with another god.
I'd actually be very interested to get to know you better.
She starts like walking up. The world parts around her essentially as they heads up. The priests are all whispering amongst themselves though. What's going on? And after they walk a distance, she turns around and goes, "You two, I mean, you're friends, right?" That's what he says.
We're friends, aren't we?
I'm not
Aren't
there.
we?
I'm not there.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm locked out. Fuck that noise.
Thankfully, you two were far enough away that the house god couldn't see you. So meanwhile, you have sort of like, moved your way towards the docks. It doesn't appear that these doors open on their own anytime soon. You could scale this wall. Or you could.
Yeah.
Although you're a lot less subtle about it, but you could, or you could try and get these guards to go somewhere and open the door yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably, it's not like, there's no one in there that needs to be fed or anything, so it's not going to open anytime soon.
Right. I have a bad feeling about this.
You have a bad feeling about everything.
We tend to find ourselves in quite a bit of danger, Varya.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the job.
Wait.
What?
Where are Eerie and Idalia?
Idalia was doing her crazy goddess thing, and Eerie stayed there, and I came to find out where the hell you went.
Well,
You just took off, you realize that, right?
I do. She was providing the perfect distraction.
Yeah, well, and you went by yourself. What was I going to do down there? I'm not exactly subtle.
Well,
I mean, enough to get to you, but that's about it.
I'm glad that you're here now. Now, we can reach the top of this tower, but I worry that you and I are not powerful enough to take on whatever's up there on our own.
I mean, so rest of the what else are we going to do?
Well, and also,
I mean, we could find out where they went.
I feel that that might be a wise course of action from a storytelling standpoint. I
hate when you talk to camera.
in his next incarnation, he's just going to sound like Ira Glass, just narrating everything that happens.
Varya was a werewolf.
This week on This Phoenix Life, we're going to be looking at a little house god. No, anyway,
Brought
sorry.
to you by Prius.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I imagine it's mostly normal guards here. The real threat is, Kid God up on the fucking mountain.
We should find our compatriots. This will be here, but thank you for coming to find me.
You drew up, right? Because you
Yes.
didn't. Okay, I'll forgo another. You maintain your stealth, especially with Ink able to sort of scout ahead for you to make sure like no one's around any corners. You're able to sort of move through town with no problem.
And when we get back to where we left them and they're not there, I'm like, I'm willing to bet you I know where they are.
Yeah.
There's a trail of bowing people between here and the palace.
Sure.
For a while,
I think I can smell the
Yeah.
ego off Idalia.
for a while, Idalia
right?
had a bunch of people like bow in a row in the street and just walked across their backs like a bad 80s video. But mostly they're people just bowing to the house god and everything else. And the palace is gigantic and expansive and full of sort of, weird splendors that only an 8-year-old could think of.
It'll do.
There's like giant plates of food and like cornucopias of candies and there's sort of a central palace area with a giant throne, and the house god goes and sort of sits on it. So I understand that my priests tell me that you're probably a phoenix. I've never actually seen a phoenix. I didn't know they were so pretty. As pretty as me.
I like when Sax plays a young girl.
I do too.
Just an incredible young catty god.
At his core, that is what Sax is.
Yep. You nailed it. I'm interested. I just had one of my servants contact your marshals, and tell them that they were going to start working for me, or else I would blow your little rock out of the ocean.
You see, that's what I'm curious about, because I absolutely understand wanting what you want and wanting a lot. I get it. But why are you this way? Why are you such a dick about it?
What's your motivation?
I mean, you have nothing. Have you had a bad life? What has caused you to be this way? I mean,
by the way, like, there's these weird moments where, like, random, like, townsfolk are, like, trying to get into the palace to be near you. like walking through the guards, and then, like, the people are like, oh, no, sorry. Just seemed like the thing to do. She sort of, eyes you up and down and says, I don't know. I mean, I had to be a god when I was super young, like I was like 4, and then like people needed me to like, understand like why I had to make this wall stronger, or make these soldiers die, or make these soldiers powerful, or give this guy some riches, or give this person a terrible life. And like that got hard. And I started learning to make my own choices, and I found out that if I do, they happen. And then it made it really easy to be like this, because no one can stop me. And until someone shows up that can stop me, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be my show. And so, I mean, I don't know, that they tell me that there's these terrible, like, bone creatures that are, like, attacking people and killing them, and then, like, people are going crazy and punching each other and stabbing them, and then there's wars, and if everyone just does what I tell them to, there won't be any war, because war is boring.
war is terrible. And first of all, thank you so much for sharing. I'm a really good listener, and I'm taking this all in and absorbing it, and and our shared experience is going to could really help this world, you know. But
Varia hates Idalia, but like this, but Mac loves it because this is the best.
What are you doing on this puny little island? Don't you know that there are forces out there that are more powerful than you?
I don't know. I mean, if I knew where they were, and you can see, the palace is like open top, right? And she sort of just indicates up to the eye of the beacon, and you can see like the energy in it sort of like pulse up. And she goes, I'd get rid of them. I don't know anyone that can stand up to that. I've never tried it. Do you want to try it? Where should we put it? Let's just pick a place. Come on, we're friends now.
let's say that, okay.
Got his sleepover. I love it.
Just pick anywhere. Where should we do it? Where are you from? I'm not saying go there, but just like as a place, like a name it.
You know what, before we get into that, so personally, okay, I think, first of all, what do you think of phoenixes? What do you feel about them?
Well, I understand that you're like, I don't know, good and stuff, and like we're super happy. Like these priests or whatever, they've told me that we're like super happy. You guys have like protected us, and hey, thanks, huh?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. I mean, apparently these other people, until I showed up, were like a big problem, and now they're not anymore. But like before then, like we really needed you, but now not so much. But what's cool is like you can sort of like go places that I don't want to leave the palace, you know. You can like, I think phoenixes are a great way to extend my influence across the globe. That was what you said I should say, right? That's what I meant. He's good. He helps me with words. I can't go to school. I'm a god.
Oh. Wow, you are fun. Let me just say. But you know what? I mean, honestly, it's petty. It's petty. I think this is beneath you to use your powers this way. I mean, we phoenixes, our whole thing is good, and we're huge. We're amazing, and
Also, she's Donald Trump. Jesus.
we're amazing. We're huge. Oh, I just
Huge.
I've been watching way too much of that shit.
We're gonna use the Deo Beacon.
And you know what? I think you can be better than that. I really do. Can I touch your mind for a moment?
Ooh, this sounds like fun. Hold on. Checking in with the boss. It's me. She's like sort of concentrated for a second. She says, okay, but he says this isn't going to work.
No? Let's
wanna
just have
try?
fun. Let's just give it a shot.
All right, what do you want to do?
So I just want you to see. So I've been through these things called crucibles. And they have shown me so much about the world, given me really experiences that no one else can really know. There's knowledge that's beyond anything that you've
You guys have reached the
encountered.
palace by now.
For sure.
And I want you to see what a force good is in the world and what it does and how powerful it is and just how much better it is than what you're doing here with your abilities. It's really just, it's sad. I think it's sad, but you know, subjective.
So
but,
you're sending her imagery? Or
I am.
you're, okay.
Of just like, I'm just trying to give her a sense of, and Idalia's doing her best to like still keep to like, okay, what is our job here? And like, I'm acting this way, but I still have my core being of who I am and my goodness and my fight to be the counterbalance of the horrors in this world.
I buy it.
So I'm just trying to send her like, just how good is.
Okay.
So,
Make
and just seeing people's lives and their joys and their, you know.
First off, it's going to cost you a spark because you sort of have to engage your magical center, so at least one spark, and then it is a skill spread, and I'll say it is diplomacy, because you are sort of trying to send her a specific message.
Okay. So that gives me 5 already, and ooh. All right. So I've got. Oh, actually, let's spread it out so everybody can see all the pretty pictures. Okay. 5. All right, I have so many new talent cards, so hold on a second. Do I get, because I have a diplomacy add 5, and I have my
it's
normal
10.
add 5. Okay, awesome. 15, 18, 22.
Can you pass me another regular Kit Kat, Mac?
Ooh, and I can burn 1 more spark
please.
with my thought coil to bring that up, so that's 27.
Do I have to do something for this?
I don't know. I just really wanted to see
okay.
what you would do.
All right. I'm willing.
For a Kit Kat bar?
Okay. All right, so you sort of pump the messages into her head, or like the imagery into her head as best you can, sort of drawing forth your phoenix energy. You also sort of touch the actual avatar while you're in there, because remember, Serestra is just like the anchor. The avatar is this sort of entirely alien, supernatural, powerful force that is the house god. And it
Which
just
wants to be good. I think.
it wants to make her happy or protect her. It responds very basely to her emotions.
Right.
So as you're sort of sending her, so how would you describe the feelings that you're sending her? Is the really important, cripplingly important part of this?
Very, very warm, and just like, you know, a swelling of the chest. All those things that you feel when you feel amazing when you're on E or something. I don't know. But
Kids call it Molly these days.
Is that what they're, yeah, I put her on Molly right now, and she's and it's just like pulsating into her, and just like all the especially in my crucibles and in my experiences with people, all the joys that I sense off people when everything has gone well, when their lives are, you know, when things are right, when the balance is correct, and just all the joys that people have sensed, all the heights of people's best emotions.
Okay.
And yeah.
So you get two very distinct impressions. The house god, the avatar, if you will, like the living embodiment of the energy that is also present in this connection you're making, is incredibly pleased and titillated by these feelings, and it's positive. And actually, everyone outside, because you're sort of like in this moment, everyone else feel like flowers are blooming around, like the world is getting like slightly better, like birds are singing, like you're creating such positive energy that like the house god is sort of manifesting positivity on like miles around the palace. But Serestra is taking it very differently. She likes what she sees, but what she doesn't know any better, she wants to possess things that she likes. So she doesn't want to cause those feelings. She wants to make them. She wants to force them. So very quickly, like the sort of connection you have sort of fizzles out, and you can see like in her eyes, like you've just given her new prize, and she goes, "Good. You'll do that for me. You are mine now."
Wait, what? Wait, what?
And so are you. And like the guards like sort of tighten together. By the way, you're like feet away from where these guards are. 'Cause
Sure.
Again, it's like a big like Greek open air palace.
Yeah. We're lurking in the shadows
Yeah.
as best we can.
The guards sort of like tighten together, like, and she's basically being able to like slightly communicate her will to her people as well. And the priests start like sort of like drawing up contracts. She's like, yes, you'll stay here and you'll do all that. You'll do the thing that you just showed me. You'll do it, but for me. Like you'll go make the people feel like that, and then you'll bring me their feelings, and it'll be great. You'll just stay here now forever. I'll make the phoenixes give you to me. Or, and she like points up at the thing, and the energy like sort of is arcing around the eye of it. And she's like, or I'll just get rid of them, and then you'll have no one to work with but me. How does that feel?
Oh, no, this is not okay.
Oh, no is not a right answer. I don't want to have to punish you. You make me feel so good. But I will, and like seriously hard. Like I'll punish you like it's going out of style.
We should at least try to get Eerie if we can.
Well, this is an interesting turn.
And then what?
And then the three of us take on the tower together.
You just came from there.
Ooh. Whoa! Jeebus.
Agent party supply.
There's a sort of moment of sort of realization for I need to
Oh, wait, I can.
get a piece of paper here and write down another environmental object added by our fine friends in the chat room.
My friends.
Friendos.
Call it friendo.
You watch that movie like any time except the first time you watch it, and you're like, this takes forever.
Yeah,
that
it
whole
really
movie
does.
is like him, Javier Bardem, just going like.
Also, not for nothing, everything that takes place in El Paso is actually Albuquerque, New Mexico. Because there was a building that I recognized that was down the street from my high school.
Aw.
Not for nothing.
How dare they?
All right, this
sir.
mysterious diary has been added by the chat. You don't actually have to like choose to read it when you use it, but you will find out what is in it when you use it anyway. We'll get you. Oh, and you know what? While I'm at it, let me grab. So, there's a sort of moment of realization as Seresta sort of like. You can see that has that connection with the energy behind her, and she goes, oh, you brought more friends, and you were hiding them from me. That's not how this works. You belong to me, so I know all the things, and you know what I tell you to. And the guard next to you goes like, hello, like just like, and like more guards are coming up the hills.
I'm not killing a child. I'm not going to stop you.
Gee, thanks. You're such a pal, Ink.
In grabbing your,
We can argue later.
I should have just played Truth or Dare with her.
I can argue while I fight, believe me.
Yes, I know you can. Let's do that. Now, for instance.
Give me
Will
1
there be
second to grab
quips
these
as we
cards.
fight then?
Yes.
Awesome.
Perfectly timed.
It's happening now.
Idalia, take that.
One more.
Yep.
Take that. And one for me, please. Take that.
You doing okay? You okay? I mean, just because you've been here all day.
I'm tired. I'm fine.
Take that.
I'm ready to smash more stuff because the intro was so much fun.
Affliction. Take that affliction out of your deck because they've cured you of that problem.
And shove it.
Oh.
Affliction is like Phoenix herpes.
Yeah. All right. I just need to grab one more thing, and then we are good to
Here,
go.
this is for you.
Thank you.
Man, the aging party supplies make me sad.
Yeah, no.
I can totally picture them though. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just keeps.
Good
She
illustration.
keeps having parties. That's the thing about her. Is
Because she's 10 years old.
The birthday parties just don't get any better in this game.
Dear Reborn Wing, you were invited. No.
No. I'm just not gonna put a card out for them because we've seen the like citizen soldiers before.
Sure.
So here is the house god. If anyone wants to put that art down.
Wow.
An example of the kind of art that we will
It's
be
all
getting.
for you, Damien.
Very much so.
You got it, Steven?
I'll see it.
So when that's the kind of art that we'll have on our various character cards that you are unlocking by buying flares.
Do it.
There's
Totally worth it.
Yes.
certainly no limit to the amount of flares you can buy in this game. So I mean, other than the fact that two can't be operating at once. So
And if somehow you can provide us with ravishing Ric Flair, I'm sure we can work out something special for that.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, the flares are fabulously wonderful. As evidenced about 2 seconds after we started playing.
Game mechanic question for you real quick. With heightened awareness, at the start of combat, I can draw 3 cards, which I did last time. Should I have discarded back down to my hand size, or do I also draw 3 at the top of this combat?
Well, did you haven't made a spread since then?
No, I haven't.
Then yeah, draw 3. Go ahead.
Fucking A, Boba.
You basically though at the start of your turn you draw up to your limit. So like if you are
If I
under
had
the limit,
8.
you go up. Yeah.
Right, but if I had 8, I don't have to discard down.
No.
Okay.
Never. You can maintain them as much as you want.
That is sexy as hell.
Okay, so
So I currently have 10 cards in my hand.
So basically, you're sort of penned in by all these soldiers. The house god is sort of present, but not necessarily in combat currently. I don't need that right now. And you're sort of trapped by her temporarily. What do you want to do? One of you can take the torch first, as always.
I mean, we're outside, right? So we're going to want to force our way into where they are.
From what I understood, though, we're kind of in the same room as they are because it's like a
Yeah,
big
like
sort of
one-
open
Yeah,
throne
you're
room.
sort of in a big open
But yeah,
sort of
we
outer
should probably
palace.
close the gap. Would you like the torch first, Varia?
I mean, I always
Smashy,
like it
smashy.
first. I'm having opposing thoughts right now. Sorry. There's 2 things that sound really entertaining to me. Because I always take the rack of weapons. Now I want to take the rack of pies and start a fucking food fight. So,
Actually, the
can I have a
10-year-old would
Sharpie?
probably dig that, yeah.
I'm going to take the
Blue for the moon.
rack of pies, and I'm going to use the pies to try and blind the guards and then leap at them.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw pies in their
So here's the
face.
question: are you intending to actually like push this into real combat, or do you want to just throw pies?
I'm going to push the whole fucking rack into combat, like into
Okay.
all of the people.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So you can draw from that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to save that for later because that's more funny there. I'm actually try and get my other cards up in here, so that'll help me.
I wish we'd found a way. I wish we'd thought ahead and had you increase your actual real life fingernails every game that you died, so that eventually you had to sort of wedge up the coins.
We'd actually have to have somebody staying next to her to
Yeah, to hand it in.
manipulate.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw down superhuman reflexes because I moved really fast to get that rack of pies, and also I just want as many cards in my hand as possible. I used so many of my good cards earlier on Eerie. So...
Do you want one, Max?
Okay.
Pumpkin ales?
No, I'll go another. I don't mind a PBR.
I'm going to go ahead and also ironically use Ruthless because while their eyes are full of pie, I'm going to go ahead and just start attacking the shit out of them.
Eviscerating them.
Which lets me draw another card, so I have like
Aye.
10 million cards in my hand now. So,
Steven, do you want any beer or anything from the fridge?
Do you want
Pumpkin
a,
beer? Yeah. Just give the man a pumpkin beer.
right down in here.
do
Sorry,
you want
I'm
a bag
doing
of chips?
spreads
We
right
have
now.
many bags of chips you could have.
Okay, so I'm going to put those down. I'm going to save that for right now and go ahead and put down that.
Wait, hold on.
That. I don't have any wounds right now, so I'm going to hold on to that. So I'm going to go ahead and use Ruthless, which is going to be 5. Graces 1, so it's 10, 15. So that is 17 in total right now.
Okay. You carve through a bunch of guards as if they were made up with little more consistency than the pies you threw on them. They don't see you coming and don't live long enough to understand what actually hit them. So their world is pie, and then their world is blood.
Pie and
Yes, and you basically shear them and throw them in all directions, and you can see the house god is she's afraid of you, and so as you're
should
sort
be.
of well, yeah, and so as comes emotion, she's afraid of you, and you get struck by lightning. So you're and a lightning bolt just basically it takes you off your feet. I believe this is a strength 16 attack.
Is the house god a metaphor for puberty?
I don't know. Keith Baker, what do you think? Attack of 15. Oh, by the way, did you end your turn? So this happens when you end your turn.
Okay.
So if you want to make another spread, you can. But
I
okay,
can't,
because she doesn't have an interruptibility. This happens on her turn.
Okay, so
I'm not
I do
peeking
drop
ahead in
or I
my
don't
deck,
drop.
but I'm
though.
peeking
You
ahead.
do drop
deck.
them, so
Okay.
drop to your max, and then it's an attack of
Phew.
a defense of 15. It's a
I'm
standard.
gonna go. I want to pull one more.
Go,
just
go,
in
go.
Case.
That's what they're there for. Thank you, whoever
Yeah,
donated
thank you. Although I'm sure that was meant to keep me up while I was killing everyone earlier.
Oh, yeah, I see what it was.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use Vengeful, which will let me go ahead and I'm going to attack back against her.
You need to burn one more spark for that because you're not on her. So you need to, if you want to attack back against her, you need to ranged attack her.
Okay.
So this will mean you're throwing an object.
Okay. And the only other thing I have for defense right now is on the table. Horrific vision. So I guess we're both exposed now.
Okay.
So that gives me a total of 4.
Okay.
And we're both exposed, and I get to make an attack back at her.
This would be a great time for Shadow Wolf, as now you have no defense going forward, correct?
That is unfortunately correct.
All right, so you that's 3 wounds, and you're stunned by that lightning bolt. The stun will take effect after
Attack back.
after you attack. Wait, hold on a second here. You defense. What was your defense?
What was it? I think it was. Unfortunately, it was just 4.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, that's still 3 wounds.
Okay.
So you'll take the stun condition after this, but right now you can make your attack. So and tell me what you're throwing at her.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one of those. It can be.
Okay. I imagine that I've actually just plowed through a bunch of her guards. So I'm gonna grab some of the weapons that they had and hurl them at her using crude but effective.
Gotcha.
And can you double expose an enemy?
No.
No.
Damn it. That doesn't help me.
No cards in a spread.
So I can't use that, but I could pull out a new thing, that's why.
She's snarling. We actually got her really snarling.
So that's 13.
13. Clink. Like like a force of pure bitch energy, sort of like swats away that attack.
Hashtag bitch energy.
Yep. Hashtag no.
Can I throw more at it, or is it like just not even close?
18 is the target, and that's just her defense exposed.
Okay, you have to wait for another attack then.
She's a god. Hey, what about that song that has like Spock audio samples in it from the 80s? Pure energy.
Yeah, it's
Information Society.
yeah, pure energy.
I want to know what you're thinking.
Right. But now it's pure bitch energy. See what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Pure bitch energy.
Bitch energy.
Actually, sorry. Fun fact about the Information Society. My friend got that CD in 1989 or 1990. 91, doesn't matter. And it was revolutionary because it had a video on the disc that if you had a computer powerful enough in 1990 that you could play.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the first CD-ROM kind of thing.
All right, so Mac, now you're stunned and exposed.
Great.
Oh, no, wait, you attacked her back, right?
Yeah.
So your exposed is gone. Oh, and she attacked you. So actually, both your exposes are gone.
Okay.
Because exposed drops when you attack the target.
Okay.
But stunned works like such, in case you've never been stunned before.
I don't think that's actually happened.
Lose a card.
No, it's I think you're one card short.
Yeah.
On your next spread, on any of your next spreads until the end of your next turn.
Okay,
So-
so next time I'm one short.
Yeah. So one on attack, one on defense, or anything you do really is it's your card short.
Yeah,
on
my
any
defense
spread.
is nothing right now unless somebody in
okay?
chat. Oh no, wait, I'm not exposed anymore though.
Right.
So never mind. I have one card.
So as
1-1 for this defense.
1
Yeah.
plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
So as Varya is eviscerating pie-blinded cards and trying to best the house god, Ink.
The thing I used to say when I was really fat, like I was like, "Sorry, I can't come out. I'm pie blind. I can't see anything but eating more pie.
Wow. We just got a little after-school special here.
Pie blinded." My friend did a web series, and one of the characters' name was Hop, but it stood for House of Pies because he was a fat kid.
Oh, I gotta remember to do this. When I suffer wounds, I can draw cards. Damn it.
Take the cards.
Absolutely.
All right,
do that.
go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry, mate.
so as
sorry.
the giant werewolf is, blinding people who've been, whatever. I'm following her. I'm burning a spark to put a protective ward on her.
Okay.
Like literally, I'm kind of
So many cards. Now.
climbing up on her back to try and pierce the house god's defense. So here's what I'm doing because I'm hidden. I get to add an extra card to my spread.
Do it.
I'm starting off with my brand new card because I died a Durant death. Heart of Fire. So this card is 7.
Nice.
Since I'm hidden, that puts me at 11, but now I'm no longer hidden. So as soon as I kind of come down and I write like nope or whatever, Six Semper Tyrannis. That's what I write on the force field surrounding her. All right, so that's 11. There's 16. There's 19. There's 22. And if you guys really want, you can burn sparks and you can increase my value by 3 for each spark. I mean, you can only burn 1 spark each, but...
Do it.
So that's 26, 29, 32.
A real fun role-play moment for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, great.
So.
And literally, I'm kind of like Six Semper Tyrannis and I land in front of her.
Okay. So you're like blasting. You can feel like the avatar pushing back against your attack, and it's probably the most powerful single effect you've ever felt. I mean, it is like a god's will saying like no, but you manage to sort of sneak through, and then you draw the power of your wing, and you sort of like. And you can see however, it's an anime now, so like the words get hot and blast at her or something.
Right.
And you can see it. You're entirely sure, and you're correct. It's not gonna stay long, but you're entirely sure that you kill that child. Like you do it. The energy like blows, like destroys her little 8-year-old body is destroyed, and she crumbles into a ball. And that moment only has a second to sink in and ruin your day before one of the priests, like sort of in the periphery, goes like, "Huh!" and then falls over, and like energy flows from the priest into her, and she just sort of snaps back together, and because they're going, "You're mean!" and then let's see here.
That happened. I'm not gonna kill a kid. I'm not gonna kill a kid. I killed the kid.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wow, hold a second here. Okay, and basically she's like, "You're mean," and then like from her finger like fire sprays out at you, and then basically like hits you, and then like basically nukes the palace. So a big giant fireball, all of her priests and like her attendants, it like arcs around them, but all of you make a defense 10. It's only 10.
Oh.
I can only lay down one card.
I can do 11.
Mac, Needy, Shadow Wolf, you're fine.
I can do 4.
All right.
Jeez. I can burn 2 sparks to do 5.
All right.
An overwhelming 5.
I really want that to flip. Oh wait, damn it.
2 wounds there. And you're burning.
So what about you,
Oh.
Mac?
Mac is 4. It'd be super good if some. Not that you can't. Oh, you can just. Well, rather than making you take them, if anyone can give her even 1 more, she'll take 2 wounds instead of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're gonna take 3 wounds from that unless he's
Yeah.
siphoned some over for you.
So I only took 2.
Okay, so I take one.
You take 2.
I mean, oh, okay, you took one.
He took
Well,
one of them.
here. You know
Okay,
what?
no,
No.
No, I do brutal
No,
damage at this point, though. If I have 5, I
Alright,
do brutal
fine.
damage.
Okay.
All right,
There you go.
I got 11.
you're fine.
I just wish I could flip Grimclaw for it.
But Mac, you're also on fire.
Of course I am.
Meh.
You're not, because you just took her wounds, not her actual, not like the actual flame. So you two are going to take 1 brutal damage at the top of every combat of every round until you spend, until you spend an entire round. I think the burning condition might actually be spark offable. Hold on a second here. Burning.
Fuck it up.
What
No,
kind of
it's
thing?
it's a grace spread of 10 to remove a burning condition for you. And you're going to take that first brutal damage at the top of the round no matter what, which means you both have a wound in your future, and more
Okay.
so.
All right.
You sure you don't want me to take that wound so you don't have to deal with that?
She'd still be on fire.
Yeah, but
still
but still, it'll be
No.
probably better. Are you
Okay.
okay with that?
Yep, totally.
All right. So you're still going to take a wound next turn. no
Yeah,
matter what.
but it's still.
Yep. All right,
That'll
so
get me to a good point still.
who hasn't gone yet?
I haven't gone yet. So knowing that Eerie is up next and he's like full power and stuff, I think Idalia wants to still to try to use the goodwill that she has with her to kind of at least distract her, you know, not be afraid of Eerie or anybody, just to be cool. So Idalia's like, hey, check it out. Let's have a party. You're right. Like, fighting is lame. So she takes the aging party supplies
Okay.
and she kind of just like does all her like, woo woo, you know, like balloons are somehow inflating
wait, I
and
took a balloon.
Draw a card from Aging Party Supplies.
yeah. And I'm gonna
card from
draw. I'm gonna because I need this to
Yep.
get me somewhere. So I'm just sort of like, you know, party poppers are flaming and going up and turning into like, you know,
Wait,
like
you're doing
unicorn
poppers?
fireworks and
Yeah.
stuff.
Wow.
Party
Feed
poppers.
the dogs your
God.
face.
So I'm kind of distracting her, reminding her like,
Right.
hey, we're close. Whatever I can get out of our little
Yeah.
relationship we've built, and
What are you
hopefully
doing? It's called a dance off, you dingus.
So right now I can, and of course, look at all these ones, guys. All right.
They're all traits, though.
They are,
So if
but
you
then the
s-
rest are twos.
Yeah,
So-
well, I mean, but you'll draw cards for each one you use in most cases.
All right, so let's see.
So you got the best of both worlds, Mike. You didn't kill the bad guy, and you're gonna be able to haunt
Ooh.
ink with the death of a child at your hands.
Hey, does this work for my burning? Okay. Discard this to remove any stunned, exposed, or vulnerable conditions.
Yep.
Done. All right, so I'm gonna use that. To
And I'll
get
let
rid
you
of
have
that.
discarded that before your turn starts, so you won't take a wound.
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right, and then I can also draw another card. Oh, that's better. All right.
We like better.
We do
You
like
discarded
better.
it, didn't use it in this. It goes to the discard, not
Right.
in the spread.
So, doing savior because like I've been suffering a lot like emotionally to kind of get close to this like psycho god and doing my best to kind of help my team to be able to like get to her who's like kind of unstoppable in our senses right now. And shoot, so I can do 3 attack cards right now. So
Okay. Well, this is a skill spread because you're not attacking her, right? You're
okay,
just
so
doing
I can do
it.
3. Okay.
Which also means you can. Well, you flipped your
again.
talent, so.
Yeah. And so it's a skill spread, so let's see. So that's 5. Let's see. 10,
It's diplomacy, so you can add 10.
14. Cool. And then that's okay.
Mhm.
So that's
All right. So you like
19.
make a very convincing party with magic, where you like bring the aging parting supplies back to life.
David
Keep-
Bowie's there.
Yeah.
Tens, magic tens.
keep her happy and distracted, hopefully.
And you and there's a second where like she's sort of like and she actually like she says it, she's like, I like you. And just maybe she's like no longer, because she just died, like she felt that, so like maybe she's like sort of not into the fight, and you can feel like things, and like, you know, the dark clouds that were above the outdoor thing are starting to like spread away, and she sort of lets her guard down, and like the soldiers in the outskirts are like sort of whether or not they want to attack, but it is your action. Yes.
Don't die on us.
I mean, let Eerie die, but you know that.
Yes, by all means, sacrifice Eerie.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna. I'm gonna grab that mysterious diary.
No.
Okay.
And I'm.
No, it's okay.
Something that you want.
Go ahead and cross it
Go
off.
for it. No, go for it. Go
And
for it.
yeah, and I'm gonna dart behind a convenient pillar and flip through and see if there's anything useful.
Well, in pure chat fashion, no. But first off, draw a card from using it.
Well, then
But
I don't feel so bad.
That it's almost as if he is haunting you. That diary is the diary of Robert, not Bob Whiskers, now Top Knot. But you notice that on several
I thought
pages,
it was Man Bun.
Man Bun, yeah, Man
Yeah,
Bun is
Is his cog, right? Yeah.
know what's his
But
worst.
apparently, back in the day, he would draw. He has a lot of fully wolfed out drawings of Varia with notes saying, Senpai noticed me, and hearts all around them.
Who did that? Which one of you did that?
It was Trona. Thank you, Trona, for that
Very
one. You
nice.
can get rid of that, sir.
That's horrific and wonderful. And
Witness
somebody
me,
in chat.
Senpai.
Oh, wow.
pointed out
witness
that.
me.
I think we caught Trona just before they logged off, too. All right, sweet. All right, cool. Thanks, Trona. Well, you just got it. You
my
can still make
God.
spreads because you haven't used the rest of your cards if you want to do
Both
something
the
else.
best and worst thing.
Got a card out of it.
Witness me, Senpai.
Yeah. And I'll let you folks at home decide whether they're like full on like National Geographic style, like actual like beautifully detailed images, or like weird cheesy sort of like jagged teeth.
Like Trogdor.
Or like strange furry stuff. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure.
It's your journal to create in your mind.
I think you just decided.
I don't think their choice is theirs anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've taken away their agency.
Oh my god.
How many priests? How many living folks are still in this room?
There's a lot of these priests around. There's probably as many as 20 of them. They range between like willing-looking priests who like clearly are either part of the cult or have decided that they're gonna like lean into this role, and like really sort of shifty-looking, like, oh god, how did we brought this on ourselves looking priests. And then there's a bunch of soldiers, but the soldiers are basically like on the surrounding area, and they basically only really attack if you give them opportunities at this point, because as long as you guys are distracting Serestra, they don't like. She's not mad at them for not attacking. So like basically, like, you can see like they're like sort of holding their spears, and then like when she looks over, like, "Oh, I'm menacing you," and then like she'll look somewhere else and be like, "Oh God, oh," like they don't want to fight you, but they definitely won't not do it while she's looking at them.
We got to figure out how to get rid of them.
I am going to I'm going to go out and start knifing every one of the priests that looks like they're really into it.
Okay.
Every other person who is not, I just blur by them and say, "Get out now."
Okay.
I've only been into Celestria for a little while, but I'm really into Celestria.
Burn me a spark to attack multiple people, but then you're fine.
Okay.
All right. So yeah. This is good. This is we're deep into a combat. Got a big handful of sparks for me here. Incidentally, this is about the time where a flare will really dramatically change how things move, and then it's going to sort of peter out in one direction or another. Just telling you, chat. As you seem to be on the "let's fuck with them" track today.
Now's a good time to do it and just like lean in, guys.
Now it's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Yeah, and whether we dance to your pleasure or not, it's up to you. And remember, half of all of your Spark donations are towards the character art cards,
Which is really fucking cool. And thank you to
that
Keith Baker and Sax. And
that's
thank
so awesome.
I hope I'm not misassuming this. I believe it is a married couple, or is at least a couple. I don't know if they're married, but I believe it is a couple. There's two artists.
Hey man, don't put your binary gender politics.
It's two artists that are living and moving together somewhere. I think they're a couple. But whether or not, there are a pair of them, and they did all the art for it, and you can actually see them talk about why they did the certain arts they did. They have YouTube videos in support of Phoenix Dawn Command, and it's so beautiful. It's such a wonderful style. And I just kind of like, actually, can you put that Force Strength on the camera for me real quick? I just love the idea of taking these characters that we have such like a deep three-dimensional perspective on and seeing them represented that way. Like, what is the sort of like mild Greek hieroglyphic version of Varia? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, like even when the game was still in Kickstarter, that was one of the things that really stood out to me the most. I mean, the card resolution dynamics, that was one thing, but the art really grabbed me because I'm like, I've never seen anything like that
and it's
in
gonna,
20 plus years of gaming.
And so it'll probably be in that style, and I can't decide what we're going to do with it. I mean, part of me, because we are going to print cards, at least for us, I think, if once we get this done, part of me wants to just get like a 5 in each, in like, a suit each for you guys. Or the cards could be named, like they could be like, but it won't be your character's name, it'll be like, I think it'd be better if it's like an aspect of you, you know what I mean? So maybe it could be like one of your skill specialties, so like, it could be Idalia, like this, and it could be like diplomacy. And you could, but if you look close at the card, you're sitting on someone's back.
Yeah.
And we get Rob Liefeld ink.
Anyway, so what do you got for me, Eerie, in terms of murdering lots of people?
I can what do I need to take out each one?
I will say you're gonna hit. I mean, they're mortals, so they go down real easy. You'll hit 3 for the first 5, and 2 per 5 after that.
Okay, yeah, because basically we've got 6, 5, 7, 6, 4.
People are enjoying watching this in very, very far from the top-down cam. Like, what? Red, green, red, red, red?
I was just trying to figure out how many I could do, and then I'd put them all over there.
So what is the size of your normal spread that you can do? Like, what is your attack spread normally?
It's basically +3 from.
No, but I mean the number of cards. Sorry.
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you have 3 traits in this. Sorry.
But I mean.
Sorry.
Yeah, these are all separate attacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're gonna. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, geez, just you take out a significant chunk. Let's say that way, because
Fair
that's
enough.
a lot of little attacks. It's very good combat economy for you. We don't need to show them all.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. So.
Jessica Jones style.
And feel free to load up your percussive strikes from that if you want to.
Yeah.
So you nuke all those people. The house god sort of seems to be aware that you're like cutting off the priest's support. She.
Oh no. Oh no, what is
Of
happening?
course. All right. Well, no, that changed. Did you? Is that a thing? All right. Then we're gonna do it.
I don't know what it is yet, but I don't like it.
Night Steeds is here's 3 for the table.
I'll take that back. Night Seeds. Love you.
He's paying for it.
But all right. So the okay. It's just like they know. Like Night Steeds, you've just entered chat, I believe, and you're already like pulling the strings very effectively.
Pull the string.
So it looks like the house god is looking to sort of make a retreat. Like she puts her hand on the ground, and no, she's not. Sorry, no. I don't want to give it a suggestion that she has any sort of intent. Like she wants to leave, and so the spirit does this. So she wants to leave, and there's a sudden earthquake, and like the whole palace basically comes down on you guys.
Yeah.
So everyone is stunned for 1 turn, and there's no defense. You're
Does
just
the
stunned.
rebel put out the fire?
What? Oh, well, you haven't taken your action yet, so like okay, I'll let you have it. Yeah, you being crushed by debris puts the fire out.
Okay.
So you're all sort of thrown on the ground, and then she's sort of like backing away, and the priests are sort of coming around her, and she's like, "You're no fun at all. Like, we'll play again soon, jerks." And she's leaving, and then all of a sudden, like, you get this like sudden burst of like, "You're not letting that bitch go," and they hideous beautied you again.
What does that even mean? Okay.
Oh.
Earrings are coming off.
Yes.
Oh, hold my baby. All right.
Oh my god, chat. Yes. Oh my god.
You guys
right.
are crushing it tonight. I love it.
Okay, so as long as that's going on. So first, I'm going to burn these 2 sparks because they keep an enemy from attacking me.
Okay.
And because I know that this might rile her up a little bit, and I want to keep her around because I want to get this done. So
So I think out of the Shrouded in Sanctuary, you can't move or attack her.
okay, can't move physically at all.
I think you can you can move a small amount, but like the effect only works as long as you like haven't you can't like run around. But you can trigger it whenever you want in your turn. So like if you want to walk up to her and then blast it off, you can. You know what I mean?
Like, oh wait, blast off the like.
Like you turn it
her
on.
attack.
Like
Oh,
you can turn it
okay.
on whenever you want. But like after you turn it on, moving or attacking her or what else?
After, okay. So until I, yeah. So once I attack, I.
Move from your current position or until the end of the scene. Yeah. Attack, move, or end of the scene. So you basically have to
Okay.
stand where you are and be awesome.
Oh.
But you can do anything that's not an attack. So you can like make
Okay.
skill spreads, you can do whatever you want. And she can't attack you otherwise because you're actually out-godding her.
All right.
Like you're being like, ah, and like just being like, like golden energy and blue beauty. Bluey.
Bluey. That's what it is.
Bluey and the blowfish.
Bluey.
Too soon.
Flutie. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use a lot of my sort of gravitational force powers.
Okay.
And I'm just like, hey, honey, hey, look at this, that throne of yours. You were never fit for it. Where is that? So I summon from the rubble. All this rubble just sort of like whoosh goes away, and this throne summons up, and it actually. Maybe I kind of get it sort of under me, so it sort of just comes from under the rebel, right under me. I'm rising with it. And I'm like, this is what a goddess looks like. Bitch. And I see how that goes with her.
All right, so cross off the massive throne because we're using that in this action. Draw a card from that. I'm going to give you some pretty serious help for this one.
Oh, chat, I love
Because they're
you
making me
tonight.
double terrible. I'm like, oh,
So good, though.
but I love it so much.
So good.
Somewhere
Why
out
does
there,
it feels so good to be
like
so
like
bad.
hard cut to like Honor, Winter, and like the rest of the rest of the marshals like standing around a table, and someone's like, "Do you think it happened the way you thought it would happen?" I'm sure it did.
I've been having me a little rethink about Reborn.
No, I think this was. I think Honor is a master strategist. I think this was exactly what he thought would happen. I think Honor can calculate all up into and including the chat. That's how good he is as a 7th level Durant. He's aware of the fickle gods of fate. He's like, there's no way they're gonna go there and not fuck things up.
All right, so let me see. So I'm going to throw in noble because this is her
Right.
highest use of her nobility.
Oh my
That doesn't say I can actually draw from one, but
No,
Okay.
it just gives you whatever it does.
let's see.
But you drew from the item, yeah? From
I
the,
did.
Okay. And you got to redraw there if you need it.
I want this to work. Okay. So
So this is a skill spread, so you can go 3 high. If you want, you can flip your town back over and use Thought Coil on this.
that's worth it.
That'd be 3 because you got to use 1 for Thought Coil.
Oh. No, it says 2 to flip.
2 to flip and 1 to use it.
Oh, right.
Don't worry
God,
about it.
they get you. That's how they
Yeah,
get you.
sorry, yeah.
That's how they get you. Okay, so
So that's 5 more, right?
Yeah,
And
so
then
that's
this gonna be a
10.
spirits roll because that's kind of what triggers your gravity power. So that's 5 from that.
okay.
So you're
got
at
10 or 15 now.
So you're at 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 10. And let's see. Value of 5 when I put it in a skill spread. It's 15. And my other trait cards don't really. Ooh. No, it didn't work. So this is kind of what I've got left. So
And you have space for 1 more card in that spread if you have 1.
let's do it.
All right.
Actually, I'm
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
gotta go again.
So
Okay.
what's that? 15. 26?
I think there's a plan brewing here. I hope we have that on camera.
I'm just gonna be over here in my corner.
All right.
All right.
All right. So you.
That's 26, I think.
Yeah, that definitely works. I mean, like you yank the throne up under your butt from. Wait, now, mind you, you don't have. It doesn't have to like. Do you want to be sitting in it or standing on the chair? Because you can do either.
Sitting in it because I'm cash.
All right,
I don't
yeah,
even
so
care. Like
it sort of comes up behind
I'm
you.
relaxed about this. So.
No matter what, what the fuck? That's my plan, basically.
So you can sort of all the phoenixes sort of lightly perceptive of. Well, actually. Hey, Mike, we'll take an actual 5 for a second so that you can come back. Because so we'll do some midstream plugs or point or whatever. Anything, Tara, that you're watching, enjoying, doing?
Actually,
Can
because I
people
was.
patronize you in some way?
Yes. Okay, so yesterday, well, there is a thing coming up, but I'm not officially allowed to say. But I finally found out sneakily that I got picked for something booked later. But so yesterday, I actually had a pretty amazing gig as Harley at this like big birthday party that. Like I haven't done anything outside of a corporate gig that was that fancy. They had an Alice in Wonderland room with lots of characters. They had the Star Wars cantina with an actual band. Every room had a bar. They had basically the Iceberg Lounge, and all of these are like multiple characters. They've got like in the Alice room, they've got the Mad Hatter. They've got like card guys on like juggling on stilts. In our room, we've got the Penguin. We've got like freak show guys. We've got me, Joker.
And this was like the Paul Dini Harley or which?
They
which
wanted a
thing?
classic, which was really
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, I hadn't put that on for a long time. But the thing that I think sold the decadence of this party most was that those like toy claw machines that never work, that are a total scam, that my kid always wants to do. And as we're trying to like explain to a 4-year-old what a scam is, but they had this huge life-size one where the claw was a little person dressed as Super Mario. And you could operate this thing and have him drop down and grab like one of the prizes and drop it in a chute. This was amazing.
That sounds like something out of a fucking story or movie.
Part of me is like, that seems very exploited, but the other part of me thinks if there was a size version of that big enough for me to be on it, I would also say yes.
I think he was having fun.
I think I would enjoy the fuck out of that. That doesn't seem, why not? Go for it.
So, he seemed to be having a great time.
A human claw machine.
That's what
It's that thing where you gotta, shit. Now I'm never going to see Stefan and not realize that it could actually happen.
That's a total Stefan party move. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's really cool.
So that was my night.
A friend of mine was, does party appearances, is Andy Warhol. And because he looks like Andy Warhol, and he just dressed him like Andy Warhol, and he wears like a wig, and he looks just like Andy Warhol. And he just goes to parties, and they're like, it's like, this was in Portland where he does it, but he does and he does really just sort of weird Andy Warhol things, like he makes like a structure out of mashed potatoes and silverware, and examines it for 5 hours at a time, and people are awestruck.
Wow.
And so that's very cool. I wish that party was like a place I could go.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't that party of an amusement park?
I know. It's one night. It was, and I mean, this was like a part of the LA economy. Like, you should have seen like the amount of people they hired to set this up for one night for one 30-year-old kid. Like, just amazing.
30-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Phraseology there.
Oh, and I did get to spank him with my mallet as Harley, which was a lot of fun. So.
I want to know more, but
Yeah.
later. Okay, so you put the throne onto you. All of you Phoenixes at this point, especially after this battle, have started to like be able to discern in your sort of Phoenix vision where Suresta begins and ends, and where like the giant neutral strange force that is bound to her is. You can see that they're in conflict. Like, it wants to protect her because she was afraid and she was hurt. And so it's trying to it's still making the priests are still responding to its energy and trying to like pull her away, and like it's still like there's this powerful presence trying to get this girl to safety, but she sees you do that. And she just comes right back, like powered by pure bitch evil, like turns around
Bring it.
and is like, "I will destroy you!" And it's almost like it's holding her back. Like, but it has to kind of do what she says. So like as she's getting more angry, it's getting angry, and like the ground is rumbling, and like more pillars are toppling over, and it's like so it's conflicted. So you I'm gonna say you stunned the house god by forcing it to move against itself.
Oh.
So it does nothing this turn.
May I?
It feels
Yeah.
good.
All right.
I'm burning all 3 of my redraws because I got a
Alright.
theory.
Oh, boy.
Did you get it?
So as there's some weird dissonance going with the pure bitch evil and our rivaling god figures here, Ing's gonna go up and try and figure out what's going on using psychometry.
Okay, so are you gonna touch?
Well, I
Suresta?
yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
can touch the god, right?
Well, you essentially will be by touching her.
Sure, so I just kind of want to, have a mind meld and be like, look, I'm sorry, didn't mean to kill you, nothing personal. What's going on here? There has to be a peaceful solution here.
Okay, so
But much more dramatic and windblown and, J.J. Abrams.
okay.
Damn, the wind's going that way. Why is it doing that?
Nothing makes sense anymore.
All right, so here's what you learn: the the house god, the deity, weirdly enough, because Deo is the house, so the Deo god is bound to Suresta and is basically incapable of operating on its own or having its own independent thought. It is simply bound to her and her emotions, and it in a perfect world it would be a great system, because what makes her happy should theoretically be good for all the people, for all the Tallow. What makes her sad should be something it needs to fight against. And she has the power, like, to, see an invading ship, and the eye of the Deo beacon would just blow it out of the water. It's a great system until Suresta gets drunk with power.
Sure.
And as long as she has enough emotional response, it doesn't even really perceive the world, right? Like, it sort
Right.
of doesn't. It sees things like
It's
in
just
predator vision.
drawn totally by instinct, yeah.
And its whole world is colored by her perceptions. So you realize that there are fail-safes here. You can detach the house god. You'll need to put it somewhere.
Okay.
And it needs to be the most innocent possible target, because any sort of like foul connection won't make it work. So that's why kids are often used. You can detach the house god. You're gonna have to. You've learned this psychometry is gonna teach you how to do it. You need to use psychometry or hold on here. You'll need to either get another psychometric connection, or you'll need to find some other way to do it, and maybe these priests know.
Okay.
But then you would have to make an intellect spread.
Okay.
It's an extended spread, so it takes over time, of 80.
I say we kill the kid.
And if you can pull the cord out and then like gum up the connection so that she can never be the Avatar again, and then rebind the house god. Now, the house god will find its own person,
Vessel.
which might not be a great idea. But if that said, this new house god will probably not be an out of control tantrumy 10-year-old, and so that'd be better off.
So, basically, what you're telling me,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, 80. That's a lot of intellect. Not saying that.
But it's an extended spread, so it takes time.
Right.
You took
But
it off.
since I just drew psychometry in, it's in my discard pile. Basically, I have to wait for the luck of the draw for it to come up again.
Unless you find another way to make the actual connection. There might be places, things, positions of power. You can't get Saresta is not capitulating to this particular connection, so she's not letting you really see anything. You're getting this all on instinct. Psychometry is a wonderful sort of like get out of jail free card, and you're getting a lot of information just by touching her.
Indeed.
But you found one of those connections. You could use that as the target too.
Okay.
There are other things too that you could use, other abilities. I think only one of them in total is in any of your decks, but there's other ways to connect.
So we need to figure out something to pull her away, or something that really
I was
eats
hoping
at
it
her.
was the diary, but
Who looks
But
like the
something that
smartest
eats at her,
priest
right?
in here?
yeah.
That one. The one with the glasses, because they make everyone look smarter.
That could be interesting, yeah. Although it is paired with an attack, I don't know.
Worth a
I
shot,
mean,
though.
she'll pull anyway, but it gives us something to go off of.
I say do it.
May I?
Yep.
Yeah, she's stunned, so you have another action before she does anything.
Okay. I actually have a card I haven't gotten to use before. Called Feed on Fear. So I
Okay.
draw one card when I use it in a spread. When you use Feed on Fear in an attack spread, your target is exposed and you learn one thing they're afraid of. But I also choose one member of the wing and they have to burn either one spark or reveal a new and deeper fear.
Okay.
So that happens as well. But I'm going to go ahead and draw a card and do an attack. So, I mean, at this point,
Okay. So here's you need to at least get your claws to her for this attack to work. So this attack has to get to 20. That's the target.
I'm going to go ahead also because I'm trying to find out what she's afraid of. I'm going to go ahead and take that extra wound. It also means my damage is brutal and it lets me flip Grimclaw. Because of all of the wounds I've taken,
Yeah.
I have a massive amount of cards in my hand. I could do some serious damage right now.
So if you can get your hands on her, but here's what I'll say. Because you don't really have time to communicate with Ink as to what's going on, I'll let you sort of know what you're looking for because Ink's the one that will tell us a fear. So if you expose the fear, then
I was going to volunteer.
and also you guys have a two-way bond, right? So and also which will add to that spread. So yeah, and so
the fear is coming through rather than me finding out what she's afraid of.
No, you're finding out what she's afraid of, but you're doing so because he's psychometrically connected to her.
Got it.
Is choosing to sort of like let his fear push the information through. So you'll find out what she's afraid of.
Okay, and then I don't know if I have to do this to choose one wingmate member of the wing, and they have to burn one spark or reveal a new and deeper fear.
I think you do, probably. That seems like
Okay.
a condition needs to be met. I'll do that.
All right. Well, since we already have a connection, then you either have to burn a spark or you have to. I imagine it's more like this is so scary that you just kind of blurt out something you're afraid of without even thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I want the fear, not the spark.
Oh, yeah.
No sparks.
All right. Do you want to do that first? Or you want me to do the full spread
Do
first?
the full spread first.
Well, you
Okay.
got to make if you don't hit 20, this won't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I also have Power from Pain, which lets me draw another card.
These are all songs featured on the Phoenix Dawn Command metal record, by the way.
I am kind of like sort of salivating to get Amy Vorpal to play this game, so she's forced to write an opening song for us.
So let me see here. That's 10.
Balls in your court, Amy.
15. That is another. That's 20, and then another 5. So 25, 30.
Yep. Okay. So.
And that is all brutal damage right now.
Okay. So this is yet another circumstance where like you kill her but there are still
Yeah.
priests around. So, and unfortunately, it's the smart priest that you are like,
God
you're
damn
like
it.
running up to him in super speed, and he's like, "Help!" And then like a slightly smarter priest is in your periphery vision, or slightly less smart. He's like, aim, mine it. Oh no! And like, so you basically like run through. You're there with your hands on her. And you can feel like Varya's like rage monster coming across the thing, and you push through the like God's protection. You can feel the energy of it pushing back, and you basically like pierce the kid on your claws, like raising it up, and you can see the life drain out of her. Priest dies, and Serestra just sort of like grabs your hand and goes like, "That wasn't very nice," and pulls herself off your claws.
And in the weird din of
Although
everything that's
she
going
has to
on.
tell us what she's afraid
Oh
of
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Well, do you want to say that?
No,
for-
it comes through you because it's actually going to be like a psychic energy that you did.
And then I guess you tell us what you're afraid of as well.
Yes. And actually, I feel like they kind of piggyback on each other because being phoenixes, we have a little bit in common with divinity, I fear. And the room goes kind of painfully silent for a second, and then you hear just Ink's voice. You don't hear the chorus of voices that are coming through Ink now, and the house god saying, "Beyond this, there is nothing."
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Although
Good one.
sounds peaceful.
Yeah.
Static.
you and you, as like she's pulling herself off you, and you can see like, and this is like not even just healing factor, like it's almost as if like it has like those like lit outlines, like she's literally like phasing off your claws at this point, even though like you felt you eviscerated her. It's like, and she's fine, clothes and all, like gold chains and everything.
What is she, a rapper?
She's Big Daddy Kane.
Little house god?
Yeah.
Like
No, she's actually a DJ. She's the house god.
Oh.
So sorry, chat. So you
He's not sorry.
you see in the eye up in the top of the tower, there's like what looks like a sort of stone cradle. And you psychometrically realize that this is where the ritual is done to bind her to the god, and where this ritual thus can be undone. And you also see this, and you also know this because all three of you are sort of connected for a second. Meanwhile, the god like pulls itself off you, and
Fuck this shit, motherfuckers.
I think yours next, right?
Okay, well, good. This is a good way to end this scene, essentially. She looks at you, and she's like, "That's not nice. I'm done." And she sort of like hits your body, and stone it like emanates out from where she's touching you, and you're still in contact with her too. So like stone is crawling over you, and basically it very quickly before you can do anything like covers your whole form, and then like bursts off because your phoenix nature won't allow it. But the ensuing blast, like almost everyone around her, all the humans are just turned to stone. And it takes a while, and you guys are all sort of like slowed down by it. You're all going to take an affliction from this. And during the sort of like slowly unstoning yourself that currently happens,
The unstoning.
during that time, she escapes. And she runs off to the other palace that she likes less, and she's very upset she has to go there. So there's that affliction for anyone who wants it, and I gotta find a couple
Anyone who
more.
wants it.
Well, you're all gonna get one, so it's whether or not what order you want to get them in. Give me a second on that, and I'll tell you what these afflictions do in just a second. And yes, you managed to like shield the priest you were attacking or getting your hands on. So he is not stoned, although you are temporarily.
I feel like they pretty much got all the information that we needed.
Okay, well then you can throw him into the stoning if you want. There's one.
Okay.
And nope, those are torches. The problem with having two sets active, like
have a
it takes us.
discard pose.
We now have like a surprisingly large amount of phoenixes that have been pre-made that are in this box. I didn't think I'd ever be able to maintain this many without having to like break them all up. No. All right, I'll find that in a second.
Just give us torches. We're not gonna.
That's true. Well, no, because they don't have the right back. Like they have to go in your deck. So give me a second here to dig these out. All right, we'll take a brief pitch break. tell the chat something. That's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
I'm gonna take that.
Westworld. What the hell is up with the Man in Black? I've got a theory. I believe that he is a computer virus that is causing all the hosts to remember what happened to them. Or, yeah, that's well.
How many episodes are you behind?
I haven't watched it at all yet,
Oh, okay.
so
Well,
thanks.
that makes itself apparent pretty quick.
Well,
that
the
he's
Man in
different.
Black is a problem. I
Yeah.
mean,
You will get that within like the
That's
first 10 minutes.
stereotyping.
Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of the point.
I'm also familiar with a couple of other fan theories about what is going on with the Man in Black. That's mine, is that he is an AI or a computer virus.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Because he does not, we've not yet seen him interact with any of the other human guests. If he is human, he's not human. There's no way he's human. He's something other.
He could. I could see him just being a complete creeper.
Well,
And,
yeah. But I mean, if he's been, he has to be a very rich creeper because if he's just
Sure.
been coming there for 30 years and fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So
Why
yeah,
not?
I don't know.
I mean, what would you? I mean, if you had all the money in the world,
Sure.
Like, why wouldn't you
Just
go
go
to Westworld
fucking
just do
kill
all
and yeah,
crazy? Yeah.
troll? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a troll.
I mean, it's
He is the ultimate troll.
it's like the
Internet
300 years
troll.
from now version of running for president because you have too much money.
Sure, exactly. That being said, though, I'm really enjoying the series so far. There's been a couple of fun Easter eggs to the original movies, both Westworld and Future World. And we get 2 more seasons after this.
Really?
Guaranteed, yeah. They have 3 seasons locked in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a fan because Jonah Nolan did Person of Interest. I mean, in addition to all of, like, writing most of the good Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah.
Person of Interest was a fantastic show
Yeah.
that even being on CBS, it still managed to slip in a lot of really
Because CBS
fun
kind
stuff.
of is shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they expected to get an action procedural.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, he's sliding in all this interesting stuff about artificial intelligences
Yeah.
and, the nature of, a post-singularity existence, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Is really exciting.
Yeah.
You got afflictions? Everyone's got an affliction?
Yeah, I didn't have a
Yeah,
discard
Westworld,
pile,
let's-
so
Oh,
it's like,
so
it's
put a pin in that.
dangerously Anywhere in there.
Okay, well, let me tell you how these are going to work. They're a lot, actually. They're way more dangerous than I thought. When you draw this affliction, you have to discard 2 grace cards. Let's make it easier because you guys are not the most graceful.
Graceful.
You have to discard either 2 grace cards or a total of 4 grace. If you can't, you turn to stone and are dead.
Oh,
And our
God.
What if you don't have grace cards in your hand?
Then you're dead when you draw the affliction. So basically, you guys are holding off. You need to hold off the petrification because that's how powerful this was, long enough to disconnect the god. That will relieve you of this, or dying any other way. But essentially, yes, you are now on a clock. And if you have a grace card of 4 or more, you might want to hang on to it until you draw your affliction.
I got 4 intellect right now, and I'm usually all gray, so that's great.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
doing
I
all right.
hope it's not the next card. And because you didn't have a discard pile, if you somehow take it in your next draw, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, keep track of
I
that.
thought you were going to do me a solid, but
Oh,
nope.
man. All right.
Sorry, when I gave you those afflictions, I hadn't read the effect yet, and I was like, oh shit, but you know what? You're right, Keith. That is a better choice.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's do the next thing.
So she
she's-
gone?
Yeah, she left while you guys were. I mean, it's pretty clear where she is. Like, she's somewhere, but she's wherever she is, she's like fortified or reinforced. So you guys can keep up the pressure with her, or you can do
No.
something else.
The tower. The tower is where we need to go.
Yes.
Let's fuck shit up.
Indeed.
Okay, so no one is going to stop you from traveling through town at this point.
Sure.
Especially because they've seen what happens when these mortals try to stop you.
Right.
So they will.
We love you, Varia. Or Idalia.
Yeah, Idalia.
We don't like you, Varia.
Find that bitch and bring her
The
to
devil.
me.
I think you've calmed down at this point, Idalia. But thank you, Chad, for that wonderful turn of
okay.
events.
Sorry, guys.
No, that was really well done.
Yeah.
I'll say.
So you're traveling through town. You can head to the tower. At this point, the tower guards have fucked off, but the door is still shut.
Okay.
Can we force it open?
Yeah. Does anyone want to make a... I'm going to make you make spreads to do stuff because that will cycle your deck. So you don't get it for free. Does anyone want to strength it open?
I can.
Or someone can skill spread to like pick it open.
Would that be spycraft?
Yes.
Okay. I can do 15 spycraft.
Okay.
Because 5 from actually using the skill, using Grace's intellect, and then,
Okay.
15.
All right, you're able to pick the lock. It opens
Okay.
pretty easily. The center of the tower, it's about as big as the room we're in, probably, with these like perfect walls on all sides. They're much thicker than you really thought. Like they're significantly thicker walls. It has like a sort of carved into the wall staircase, which slowly sort of square spirals up. It goes the entire length. There's no stops. Just goes all the way up to the top of the tower where there is a room.
Without saying anything, Ink just starts sprinting up the stairs.
Heading that way.
Yep.
All right, at the top of the stairs, you go into this room, and in this room, there's like an open top here to the tower, and you can see up into the sort of open area, like which is maybe 10 feet hovering, and the eye is sort of turning and twitching. You get the weird impression it might be looking for you. And occasional like sort of arcs of the light energy sort of pass around it. And the only thing in this room is sort of like a flat disc in the center of this room.
Well, how do we take it down?
I feel like we have to go up to it. That's where the cradle that I saw is.
We saw.
We saw.
It's not all about you, Ink.
No.
It's just, we had a lot to do, guys. Don't micromanage yourself, right?
Who was spending time pandering to the council?
Hey, I don't know where that comes from. Please don't blame me.
Eerie, thank you
Oh,
for being
really? Is
relatively
that how
normal.
we're going to play it now?
Relatively.
Hey, there's somebody else who had a little bit of an affliction themselves earlier that...
We don't have time for this bickering.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to check out the little disc in the center.
All right, it's about large enough for like 2 or 3 people to stand on at a time.
Okay.
It's definitely a magical construct.
Okay.
You could spark it, and it will probably activate. All right. Basically, like you start floating up into the sky, and about halfway up between the buildings, your like gravity inverts, and you go back up, and the entire eye is inverted. So like everything in here is gravity up as opposed to gravity down. So like you're actually on the top floor of the eye.
Sure.
And there's a staircase going down to the higher point of it.
So I look down towards you all, and I'm like,
You only need to spend, if all 3 of you stand on the platform, 1 of you can spark it to activate it. All right. So up you go. All right, so now you're going down into
the eye.
the eye.
Well, this is nauseating.
Don't think about it.
So there is a
Try not to think about it.
So down here, like, so from the ground, or from the ground plus like hundreds of feet in some direction to get an angle up, it looks like the eye is this like big sort of, like is this central structure where the energy of light, it's like, it's the center of the lighthouse. And it doesn't look like there's anything else. Well, that's because from that perspective, you don't realize it's reversed. In fact, that apparatus is on the ceiling, and when you come in, so you're coming into the floor of it, which is the top. So above you is the eye, and on the ground that you're at is like an actual inversed room with like chairs and stuff all like carved out of this white alabaster, and there's the cradle right in the middle of it, and like this sort of ritual space around it.
Well, now what? I mean, do we destroy it? Is there a ritual we have to do? What do we do?
We should investigate.
Someone can make a spirits or equivalent spread.
Acrobatics?
I'll do a
Lore?
spirit spread.
You can make an experience or a lore spread, or you can do a combined spread.
Let me see.
Because I could put down 15 for a lore spread.
Let me get rid of some of these intellect cards.
All right. So I'm using smartest person in the room, which adds 5 to my spread, and then I get 5 for this for lore, and then
Yeah.
I'm using that as intellect, so that's 15 right there.
Okay. You want to do it? You want to add to that?
Yes, I do. Intuitive, because I'm using my spirit's knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry, I don't have like a burn for spirit, sorry.
But intuitive is a trump card, so you're definitely going to get what you need here.
Okay.
So but you can put a few more down if you want to burn them out of your hand.
Cool. I'm gonna hang on
I was
to.
gonna say that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Put it to the ground.
Free redraws
see.
from our friend
Oh.
Nightsteed.
Thanks,
Thank
Nightsteed.
Get us closer to them
I
afflictions.
enjoy your Instagram
Okay.
feed, by the way, so thank you for that.
7.
You're a mysterious element, Nightsteed. I didn't notice you until this stream. Like until Phoenix Dawn Command, you weren't on our radar, and now we're glad to have you. I see you on other streams now. It's cool.
I guess 12 then.
12,
5
okay.
and spirit.
And
Oh,
because-
sorry. Wait, where did I get that from? Sorry.
Well, that's 7 there.
Oh, I was just counting my other. So I do have that 5 there and 5 from.
So 10, 17 plus 15, so
Yeah.
that's 32.
Yep. There you go. All right. We're going to watch Tara draw very carefully here.
I shuffled real good, so.
Oh wait, shit, what am I supposed to be looking
All right,
for?
you're fine.
Not only that.
You just need to have... Oh, did you
Okay.
shuffle your discard in?
I did, but I didn't draw it.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. But,
Okay.
So you just need to have 2 grace cards or 4 grace. I got that. You can get rid of it.
We solid.
Mr. Pope, you can kill that foundation. I mean, I don't mind it being there. Okay, so you're in. So you determine that this is like the third point of the triangle that connects the gigantic magical force of the house god to Serestra. So from here, you can influence their interactions. So if you want, you guys can you can basically burn out her connections here, and then the house god will have to find another host. You don't know what it would take to like you could go get a kid and bring the kid up here and make the bond to someone on purpose.
Let's make a phoenix, baby.
Eerie, go back to being a child.
I'd be happy. Just smile a little bit.
Or you
Frog.
could disconnect it and see where it goes. It will probably the god is disincentivized to pick like a flawed target, so it will try and find the most innocent thing it can. But that means like somewhere in town a baby will become a god. Or you can try and do something more than just disconnect them and like force the god back into the dusk. But that will probably require at least one of you to burn out.
Because, as we've discovered, beyond this, there's nothing.
We discovered you're
That's the
afraid of that.
fear.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That's what you're afraid of.
But that's
and
what the god said too.
Yeah, well,
Well, she's a different kind of. Well.
We have to sever their connection. They're too powerful as they are. I know it is a colossal leap of faith, but we have to believe that the next host has to be better, right?
if it isn't, then we
Well-
kill that too. But I don't see how we're going to be able to send it back into the dusk right now.
I will not do that.
We have to cut it off from the real world, or it will be back, and we'll be playing the same game over and over and over.
There's a full minute of tenseness in the room. And Ink's like, I remove myself from the decision.
I think that you're right, but it is going to take one of us to burn
its
it out
plan is fear.
completely.
How much do we need?
You need a spread of, I believe it's 80. Now the way we're going to do it now, because all of you are here, is it's a collective spread. So it's an intellect spread. So those you two can throw intellect at it. You two can't. So you're going to have to burn sparks. But your sparks would count. If you burn your last spark, that counts as 10. If one of you sacrifices yourself, there will definitely be an additional effect.
I'm not quite ready to go down again after last time.
But you can still, then you can go down to your last few sparks if you want to.
Yeah.
And it collectively needs to be 80. There are definitely cards. Oh, sorry. You guys can put traits in now if they're relevant, regardless of what their suit is. And so too can you. Of course, traits are as they are. And there are a couple of traits that are pretty significant. So, I think Idalia has at least one that has some serious power here.
I don't have
And so-
anything that will help me right now.
My one
I think
intellect
what
card
I would
is a
even
trait
have as trait
card.
cards would be helpful.
Okay, sorry. Chad, you nailing it. Another option has presented itself as while you were having this conversation, you turn back to notice that Eerie is a 10-year-old boy. As they eye of the stormed you.
Let's use him.
I feel like
They've
we
given
have
us a
to, right?
choice.
I think we have to now.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? The gods have sent us a
well, next
solution.
time he dies, he takes
No.
it back with him.
I don't want to.
I mean,
I don't want a god
nothing.
in me.
I'm not going to be a comforting presence here.
You don't have much choice but to stay in this room, though, because you can't reverse the gravity to get back out of the...
Why is everything upside down?
Yeah, through the windows you can see the horizon on the ceiling. You know, you can see the earth above you and the sky below you.
Oh, God. What do we do now?
So this would now be
useless.
this is still an 80 spread, but Chan is probably not going to be contributing. But this would put if you can put Chan on the altar, you will force the house god to try and bind to Chan.
Don't we want to have some control over this?
Yeah.
I mean, cover your ears. When he dies, it'll go away with him.
He'll barely have to suffer.
And we'll send it into the Oblivion? The Oblivion? Yeah.
You know more about these things than I do, and you know it. What other choice? You don't want to kill a kid.
I already
You kill kids?
No. My friend, I look like a young Nicolas Cage right now to you. Not crazy, handsome. Nick Coppola. I'm Nick Coppola.
Like from The Boy in Blue?
Yes. Yeah, it's not
Well,
the
I
best.
mean, our options are extremely limited.
No,
we
I
can't-
understand. If we have it bound to Eerie, then we have a modicum of control. We can take it back to the marshals, and they may have some information. And yes, when Eerie dies again, this house god will fade into oblivion.
And we can't assume that your fears are real.
Well, it's the
And
best.
nothing
It's the best plan we have. You're
The
right.
truth,
we can
she
take it
hurts,
back. We can take it back. We can see what the marshals think, but let's do it now.
And another awkward, solid 60 seconds in the room. Very well.
See, and nothing is going to be
Okay,
good.
so will child Eerie like struggle if they try and put you on the altar, or because not that Mac couldn't spend one strength card to make that happen, but still, does she have to? Is the real question.
Oh, like that.
You look
Don't.
tired.
the
You
puppy
should
dog
lay down in
eyes.
this bed here. This is the worst thing we've probably ever done, and I just attacked a bunch of people a little while ago.
Yeah, I feel really
Yeah,
dirty.
You're still picking blood out of your fur. What are you talking about? None of those people wanted to fight you either. In either of the cases of your fights. All right, so
Sad
he's
Eerie. God.
He's going, but
okay.
he's going to make sure they all know what they're doing.
All right.
Close your eyes; it'll be over soon.
Look at the flowers, Eerie. Look at the flowers.
Lie back and think of England.
Oh.
Wait a minute, you going to fuck me? Jesus Christ.
Well, house god. Well, it's really about the same thing.
Okay. So, can you hit 80?
Intellect, you said? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me see how many I can do here without everything.
Are we adding any skill specialties to this?
It is a
It's just straight
it's an
up?
intellect spread. I'm sorry, no wait. Spirits and lore both count, so that's 10 right there.
Okay.
I can only put in 12 without completely burning out.
What do you have for what? I mean, not to play your hand for you, but what do you have in your hand in terms of traits at all? Anything?
Death wish. So
you.
maybe not, unless
Okay.
it's a death wish upon somebody else, which right now is Eerie as a small child, which is horrible.
No, that doesn't count as death wish. So yeah, that's 12. So you have 22.
I can do 11.
So that is 33.
33.
God. My one intellect trait card is for attacks, but it has a value of 4 for a single
This is
attacks.
you're pumping energy into something, so I'll take that.
All right. So that's, and it's not a group enemy, so I won't push for 8. But
Okay.
I'm gonna draw
shit.
a card to see what I can
Do
get.
you have enough grace?
I do.
Drop it.
All right.
And
Drop the affliction.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I
it,
can
it,
try
it just
and-
goes in your discard, but you won't get it back again for a while.
I mean, I can try for some redraws, but even then, I can't think of any of my cards that would really be applicable.
Well, if anyone should redraw, it should be one of the intellect phoenix.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
okay,
I, mean, I have
Yeah.
a lot of
If we're
redraws here.
just continuing to draw back up and put stuff down, there's 10 right there.
Oh, well, you can't draw again unless you stop engaging in this. So what you put down is what you put down. So you're at 33,
Okay.
and you have whatever's in your hand. If you use redraws, those can go into your previous action.
Which
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Use
do.
the redraws, so there's plenty of them, guys.
Right.
We can keep on with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right.
You use all six of
that's-
them?
Yeah. Between the two of you, each one of you
Wait,
draw
how many
3.
did you just take? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's 10 right there. And then do
Oh
I
my
add another
God.
5 for no.
No. This is still the same action we're
Right.
playing into.
If everybody wants to burn a spark, we can bump it up to
Mac, one of yours has been that. It
Okay.
can be that.
19.
Okay, so that is 33 plus 19 is what?
52.
52. So what do you got, Tara? You're the
And you guys can throw in sparks too, I think.
I know where all my intellect cards aren't. So I've
There's
got the
55 right there.
okay.
I've got my 4, and I drew 1 trait intellect.
So you can draw from both those. Okay.
All right. 7, 8 then.
8. So that is what? What was it? What was your final total? 55 plus 8?
63.
63. So between the two of you, can you put in 17 sparks?
I got
I've
9
got
here.
13.
What's all on?
I got 9 here.
9. And what do you have?
7.
You have 7 if you burn out.
Yeah.
If you burn out, you'll have it because that'll add 10 more.
No, I'm burning out.
You can't
Why not?
because
we need
you don't
you.
know what's actually happening. And I have a plan for you.
All right.
Don't worry, you're not going to walk away from this.
All right.
Yeah.
She always feels a little extra guilty after she's been all hideous beauty, so she's like, you know what, guys, I'm just gonna
All right. So
do what I can.
you all throw everything you have into breaking this connection and forcing the house god to connect with Eerie. And like child ear, like you can feel the presence move from a tantrum throwing Seresta who's like, "What? No! You belong to me!" You can like hear it, and like the presence comes like up and it like possesses Eerie. And for a second, everything's great because like you have this wonderful power and you're awesome. And then the eye of the storm goes away, and Phoenix Eerie reasserts itself, and you can see that like these two substances don't necessarily work. You died in the process of making this happen, so you burned out into ash. And Eerie's like, huh, and then explodes, and you and the house god are thrown violently into your crucible. Your mentor, who never shows themselves, is like going to the bathroom, like what? Oh shit! Like, we got another 1,000 years here, people. And on the other side of it, you're going to come out with a couple of extra cards. Because you basically draw a couple of those deistic powers with you, but you actually killed the house god by putting it where it was not supposed to go.
Tell me one of those cards is Rainbow in the Dark.
Yes,
Dio.
it can. So
What does it
both
say
of
to
you
you,
are
sir?
going to rank up. Congratulations there. Things quiet down in the city. With the house god gone, everyone is super appreciative, and unbelievably, it actually builds a stronger bond between the Dawn Command and the Tallow who run this city because they
Now we've
now
got the-
understand. They now understand they need to have like an actual legitimate connection with like people who are controllable and matter, and you basically bring them further into the fold of like fighting against the Dread as an organized force, which is a huge political move. You arrive home. You can either have an elemental or a devoted death for that.
think that was Elemental's duty, right?
I'm gonna give you this.
That felt.
Next, yeah, and none of you turned to stone, which is definitely a step in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
Always good. Always good.
Turn to stone, and you're
Ooh,
Like a rainbow
I'm gonna
in
get
the dark.
Elemental.
Oh, no.
Elemental?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, man.
Give me a second here. So you're
No,
going to take
I
a
know.
rank 6 elemental
But I was
power, which is going to be
piggybacking on-
pretty epic, because that's how that shit works.
Yay.
And because you went out the godly way, you can have
And
whatever
cleanly.
death you want. Because you can basically
Sure.
build your own crucible. Yeah, because you have deistic powers for a few minutes as you're on the crucible side. So
You see the pattern.
yeah. So what kind of death do you want to have had?
Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, yours is elemental.
Right.
So you're. We'll
Wow, that
rank
was
you.
messed up, man. Almost
Okay,
as messed up as
so
getting killed by a
you.
teammate.
Oh wow, they're both two-sided too.
Almost.
You either get. Well, you can tell people what you got. Read. Oh, they're both two-sided and they both work differently. Master. Oh no, I get it. It's just one.
Okay.
I just have two of that card. Sorry.
Master
What kind of what rank 5 do you want?
The level 5 thing is you're saying it's a problem if you don't have like some of the lower stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is
No.
the-
I'll show it to you if you want
Okay.
because I have it out somewhere.
This is good.
Yeah, it's really. Well, tell them what it is.
I like this. Okay. Reign of Destruction. Whenever you make an attack spread against a group enemy, the value is increased by 5. Nice. When you make a skill spread associated with destruction, add 5 to the total. You may use destruction spreads to devastate buildings and fortifications. Awesome. Okay. And Master of Storms is the other side. When you make a successful attack, you can burn 2 sparks to stun your enemy. You are tuned to the weather and may make an intellect arcane spread to influence local weather conditions. I like it.
Which one are you gonna take?
Reign of Destruction, because I need, battle power.
Sounds good.
Wow.
Let me find this one for you.
I feel like that's your roller derby name is Reina Destruction. Ooh, nice.
All right. So, so I'll read them for you because we talked about it earlier. So here's why this didn't work. Arrow's Flight is the rank 5 is one of the 2 rank 5 abilities. When you play 3 or more cards of the same value in an attack spread or a skill spread associated with acrobatics or athletics, you may burn 2 sparks and double the combined value of those cards. Because you have so many 2s that plays really well in for you, and it, lets you, and every one of those 2s lets you draw as well. It's kind of a nice little synergy. But the other one is Harrying Strike. When you make a successful attack, commit a spark to Harrying Strike. For every spark on Harrying Strike, your limit on attack and defense spreads is increased by 1 card. However, the sparks when you attack, recover the sparks when you attack a new target. Choose a new combat style or when the current target is defeated. So essentially, every time you attack, it gets better and better and better and better.
Right.
That's the rank 5 powers for that. And you're going to get a rank 5. Man.
And you get a rank 5.
You get a rank 5. I believe. Hold on. I believe Idalia, you're also going to get an actual number 5 card.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Thanks.
I just find it. Okay, so you're also
so
going to
pretty.
get.
So that puts you at 6,
Yeah.
and then you're up at 5 with us then.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh boy.
Would I get cool laser powers if I went with elemental?
No, not really. None of that. None of that. Remember, 5's a tricky
enough.
rank.
5 is weird.
All right, I'm fine with this.
Oh, so these ones are either absolute precision or 10-handed strike.
Ooh, you need 10-headed strike.
10-handed strike. When you use this card in a spread, draw 1 card. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you may burn 4 sparks and discard your hand to make an attack spread with a value of 20. All right. Absolute precision. When you use this card in a spread, you may burn 2 sparks to ignore the normal limit on the number of cards you can play in that spread.
Thank you. And you can take any card you want out of your hand if you want, because this is their next rank. You get a 5. You get a 5 card. You can either have Grace or Intellect. If you take Intellect, it's the last 5 Intellect we have, which means that when he ranks up to this level, he'll have to take Grace.
I'll take Grace.
All right, take Grace you got. Then those are your 2 ranks, which is good because this is actually completely in keeping with exactly what we wanted to do today. So everything has worked out. All right, right, so to keep you guys abridged or abreast of what we are doing again with Phoenix Dawn Command, PDC is back next week. We have the spoopy Halloween episode. It is really crazy fun, highly roleplay based episode. I will tell you now, there are going to be custom flares for a lot of it, which are going to be awesome. They'll still be tied to characters. You'll still be donating to get their art cards, but they're going to be very specific to Halloween. I encourage you all to wear costumes, but we can make some costume pieces for you if you don't. And that's going to be a fun one. And if you have enjoyed the sort of moral ambiguity and strange circumstances of this adventure, that will deliver hardcore. I would love to have more people watching this stream because I love this game and I want people to be psyched about it. So please tell your friends. We'd love that. Don't be afraid to share the Saving Throw Twitter, or tell them, you can link them to the Twitch page or even to the YouTubes and tell them about it. This adventure seems like one they should watch from the beginning because it definitely has some real charm to it.
It's all about the child murder.
It's all about the child.
No, we kill the same child several times.
And then we sacrifice another child on top of that.
And then we are off the next week because that is during Saving Throw's 24-hour stream for Extra Life.
Right.
We're actually going to be playing a version of Phoenix Dawn Command. Well, not this team, but Phoenix Dawn Command is in that. You're on that table.
Yeah, I'm signed up, yeah.
Phoenix Dawn Command is in that 24-hour stream, but we're playing a special modern version where all the characters are in modern-day New York and are reborn during a crime wave. It's sort of like a '90s teen superhero movie.
Yay!
Don't
threaten me with a good time.
Yes, but we're also playing a lot of cool games there. Goblin Quest, one of my favorite games, is in that one. And of course, we're raising money for charity, which is definitely worth your time. Then PDC will be back in its normal incarnation, and all of November and early December is the final strike against the Chant. So that should be really fantastic. On the 12th, we're going to have a really big game. There's a sort of big event scheduled for that one, so you want to check it in. It'll be nice. It'll pull on your heartstrings. Keep watching. We have also some cool guests coming up for that show. And then somewhere in December, we're going to flip from Season 1 to Season 2, which is going to be a break. But when we come back, we'll probably play a game, an off game sometime during one of those weeks. When we come back, it will be a whole new wing that has joined the Dawn Command, and some of those Phoenixes may be reincarnations of these Phoenixes. Some of those Phoenixes, and many of the players here will be back, but as different Phoenixes with a whole different arc, different everything. It should be really interesting to see same people, different incarnation. I'm looking forward to that. So that's Phoenix going forward. Of course, there's also great shit happening here on Saving Throw Show. We have shows almost every day of the week. I think every day now. I think because Tom Lommel's doing things on Thursday, so we actually have it all. Mondays, Monday Night Dungeon Fight, definitely worth watching. You're in that one.
Yeah, I'm on that.
You almost won last season. You were in the championship.
Yeah, I was very close.
So check that one out. Monday Night Dungeon Fight, and then Tuesdays there's going to be the Spookaganza, which is really fantastic.
Love those Caves Kellermans.
Yes. Wednesday is Misadventure, which you're also on.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna be on everything next week. I'm gonna show up in shows that aren't even mine and just be like, and then walk away.
Wednesday is it's our all women's Pathfinder game set in the Harry Potter universe.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. You can donate to make the meat beans.
Yeah, we will eat Birdie Bots, every flavored beans, and they are disgusting.
Not the Phoenix named beans.
Yeah.
They don't cannibalize that
Delicious.
Phoenix.
Really, what they should have called that show was Never Tell Me the Broads.
Oh.
You're fired.
And then Thursday is more of Tom Lommel's show where he shows you how he preps for his wonderful games that he plays in the Adventurers League. Then Friday is Never Tell Me the Odds, which is our Star Wars game. Definitely worth it. Really, really fantastic, doing kind of a cool puzzle thing. And then, of course, next week we start out with Dark Sun. That is the Dark Sun finale on Saturday, which will be the end of that season. And then Stephen Pope's show starts up. Either the next
Stephen Pope, who's behind the
Yes.
cameras right now that you can't see, but he's there.
Yeah.
Either are you starting the week after, or do you have time off? No, the week after is the charity stream. So there might be there's at least 1 week's gap between Dark Sun and Masks.
Yes.
And Masks is a superhero show.
Yes, it will be.
All right, but it's
For
still.
the Apocalypse World system.
Oh, nice.
And Michael will be on
I
it.
think
Michael
he's
will be on
trying
it.
to
That'll
say
be nice.
something.
I'm going else because I don't have players yet.
Well, we love having you watch us here. There's been a lot of talk. For whatever reason, it's been an introspective week for the fine folks at Saving Throw. Not to Lake Wobegon this, but we really enjoy what we do, and we love having you with us doing it. We continue to do our best to deliver the best content to you. We do ask that you do a couple of things. Tell your friends. Come in and be active in the chat, and thank the mods. So they were a really influential wave of music, and the
mods.
The mods do so well for us. We have more mods than viewers more often than not, because we have so many of you that are so dedicated all over the country and world to keeping the chat room great. Please give them some love in the chat. And yeah, just tell a friend, because we love doing what we do, and we're happy to be in this sort of greater fraternity, sorority of gaming channels on Twitch. We have a painting show this Sunday too, I think. This Sunday? Yeah, we're doing miniatures painting coming up. Not tomorrow, but a week from Sunday, right? Maybe? Mods? Help? All right, so we're going to do plugs or whatever. You've already done your plug, but tell everyone where they can find you, or tell you, yeah.
Okay, Michael Holmes, Michael R. Holmes on Instagram, Michael_R. Holmes on Twitter, because I rage quit the other name many years ago. That's a story into itself.
Let me see. I was gonna do
Do it.
because I always liked when Beans kind of talked about like the Dick Van Dyke Show and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, just like broad old stuff you like. The Marx Brothers. When I first saw one of their movies, I was like, what the hell are they? I just thought they were just being weird, and now I've since named my child after one of them. So check them out. Good stuff. Night of the Opera, Duck Soup, Animal Crackers, probably the top ones to check out. Good stuff.
Tara, I love you. I also want to point out that Tara is also an incredibly accomplished clown. We have so many skills to share with you when we're not around this table. All right.
Thanks.
What have we got? Oh, the podcast, Knowing Is Half the Podcast, Science Jerks. The Science Jerks are doing a live show 10:30 next Saturday. So like right after this one at the Pack Theater. So come check that out. It's going to be cool. We're going to have cool guests and live science demonstrations. And then that'll be the 200th episode. We just set up a Patreon for Knowing Is Half the Podcast. Nice. So if you're into that sort of thing, we haven't quite got it all together. We're going to add a whole bunch of other rewards and stuff. But if you like old cartoons, we do a bunch of that. I'm done.
You can find me as Strange Like That pretty much everywhere. Obviously, I'm going to be on a lot of shows next week, so I really hope that you tune in to watch. They're going to be a lot of fun. And also, next Saturday, I'm going to be on a panel at, I guess it's Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con, yeah, whatever. And I want to say it's around 11, but I can't remember. Look it up, it's on the schedule, but I'm going to be...
Kamikaze. Sorry.
Yes, I'm going to be on the panel for positivity in cosplay.
Ooh. Nice. Definitely a worthwhile thing to talk about. Yep. At Sax Carr on all media. I'm trying really hard to do a lot of work on Instagram, so come visit me on Instagram and see some cool stuff. There's some great photos from my trip to Portland there. And also, I take a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff when I'm at Geek and Sundry, which is well worth your time, especially if you're a Critical Role fan, because I have total and complete unfettered access to Trinket, the giant stuffed bear. So I can totally take pictures with it every time. Speaking of that, my show, Dick and Johnson, is surprisingly charming. It is from 5 to 6 on Thursdays on Geek and Sundry. That is not when we are normally broadcasting here, so if you are on Twitch and want to go watch me play in the all out of bubblegum system with two rednecks saving the planet, they're fighting a Tyrannosaurus Hitler in the next episode. I think Chloe Dykstra is going to guest on that one. That's going to move to Mondays. In fact, my first Monday on that one is Halloween's. That's going to be their spoopy episode. And yeah, just generally speaking, reach out and be social. Totally love chatting with you all. And I do a lot of writing on Geek and Sundry about like gaming and game culture. I just wrote with a little bit of consultation from Mac, the best way to make your werewolves scary in 5th edition, which to be fair, we didn't even brush the surface of how good it could have been if we had really. Mac is aware, we've done a good job. You just have them murder people off the top of the adventure. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Steven for sitting in with us this week. I think he'll be in that chair a lot in the future, as I think we're going to be trading chairs when we can. Obviously, it's a Saturday night, which is lame, so some of us will get some time off. And love love you all. See you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.